Mento Service text line, always open, 913. Yeah, man, just kind of a reset day, if you will, a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I needed a
long weekend.
Yeah, got back into the normal routine after, look, it was fun. It was a fun week of watching basketball nonstop and, having a few drinks. But Monday, it was a reset. Got back in the normal post-work gym routine and stuff like that. And it was weird. Last night, it was kind of nice not to be locked into anything in particular. So, yeah.
No, I don't think were there any good sports on last night other than like that guy who
I watched the end of the
wrecked
NBA
his
game
leg in an NBA game.
Yeah, Moody. That was
Moses Moody.
That was gross. Honestly, the kneecap was not where a kneecap is supposed to be. Let's just put it that way.
No, that's always the worst feeling. I hate seeing that for athletes just in general. But like,
he just came back.
Sometimes
from
you
an
can't,
injury.
and sometimes you just can't avoid it. Like immediately, like you flip through a social media channel for half a second. You're like, oh God, I didn't ask to see that guy's leg go backwards. What the hell did anybody warn me? That's always the thing that gets me on those. So yeah, quiet Monday evening. Drew, did you get up to any trouble?
No, I got up to being told this, and I don't know. I think I agree actually that Alex Gold is acting like a Missouri Tigers fan. He was acting like a Missouri Tiger fan when he was doing the high points. Apparently, I've been told, a little birdie told me that the Missouri Tigers fans acted when KU lost to Bucknell and Bradley. Missouri Tigers fans actually did what Alex Gold did to my Wisconsin Badgers. So Gold, per Bob Fesco, as well as everybody on the text line.
Bob hasn't watched college basketball in a month. He's been out of the country.
You're a Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, Bob doesn't even know what the hell's going on. He's been out of the loop for a month, so I have no idea where that's coming from.
I think it would also be different if it was like a team that you actively hated up to that moment. And then if you were reacting that way if Missouri lost.
Also, the Wisconsin thing happened before. The Wisconsin thing happened before Kansas had lost. The funniest part about this is Drew was Thursday and Friday of last week trying to say, oh, I don't care. I'm not a disrespectful person. I won't do it. Today, someone force feeds himself and he hops on the air and tries to act all confident about it today. So that's kind of funny to me.
No, because you wearing the high point stuff did not bother me at all whatsoever, and it really doesn't. But I will say,
well, have Bob. Bob can hop on the mic and say, like, you're basically like just trying to play messenger for him. He can come in here and talk about it if he wants. You're just like passing on the word from him. It's not even your stuff.
So's the text line.
It's not your stuff, though.
Also, I didn't know this. I didn't know this until now. I didn't know that Missouri fans, when KU lost to Bucknell and Bradley, wait. I didn't know that was a thing.
Drew, you are a big, huge college sports fan. You've been a regular sports fan your entire life. Are you here to tell me that you were surprised to find out that an opposing fan base made fun of a fan base when they suffered a humiliating loss? That's like sports 101.
To go out and buy T-shirts of the school that beat them? Yes, I actually am. That's embarrassing behavior.
I feel like that's sports
embarrassing.
101.
Missouri fans, you should be embarrassed that you did that all the way back whenever that was.
I don't know, man.
I do not go. I do not go and like when Iowa loses to Nebraska or whatever this weekend. I'm not going to go and buy a Nebraska Cornhusker shirt because I like Wisconsin and their rivals with Iowa, and I don't like Iowa fans except Logan. I'm not going to do that.
Except Logan. I like that he got a brief pass.
And
Kling, that's at least two.
Yes. Two.
Only two. As a generalization, you don't like Iowa fans.
Well, yeah, because I root for Wisconsin. I'm not supposed to like Iowa. I'm not going to go and rub it in their face by buying a T-shirt. That's just
also, in fairness,
that's just sad behavior.
Alex didn't buy a T-shirt.
I didn't buy it. I got it for free.
A jersey and then later returned it.
Also, Bob doesn't watch any college basketball, so he didn't even know what the hell happened. I bet you, you could tell him Kansas beat St. John's, and he would say, "Oh, okay." Bob just hops on to whenever something is popular at the time. He decides to root for it too.
He said that this morning. Yeah, he stirred the pot. I guess so much so people have been texting in.
Yeah,
I saw that this morning. I was like, what? I didn't think he was talking about you at first, actually. I thought he was talking about somebody else.
A different Alex?
I'm very confused. Very confused.
Okay. Let's talk some Royals baseball. As we get closer and closer to the season, obviously the Royals season opens up on Friday. We'll be out at Rally House on Friday where you can win a Rally House gift card for coming out and see us in Independence. That's the Rally House we'll be at as the Royals open their season on Friday against the Braves. And then so you obviously ask yourself the questions. And so I'll pose it to you the same way I posed it to my friend group Gold and, the way we would. Who do you think will be the biggest surprise in the good and the bad? As in, surprise in the good, disappointment in the bad. Who are the Royals players you expect? And I'll give you mine first so you guys have a second to think about it. But I thought hard about the disappointment because that's like a tough one to put on somebody where you're like, here's the player. And look, I don't know. We're going to talk about Carlos Estevez in a minute.
Yeah.
He might be people's answer, knowing that he's throwing 89 miles an hour 4 days before the season's expected to start. But I think when I thought about it, I think my answer is Isaac Collins. And it's not meant to pick on him. It's more just going back to that trade, which I didn't mind for the Royals. The Brewers are a good organization who I respect in the trade market. He is a 27-year-old rookie last year who's made very little noise in spring training. I kind of thought would have like the security of like, look at what he's done. I'm just not going to over-anticipate what they're getting out of Isaac Collins. And so in the end, I think he might just end up being a rotational outfielder, which is probably a little bit less than you probably thought in day one for him. The surprise for me at this point, you probably aren't shocked by it. If I'd said Cags, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. He would be at the top of my list. I can give you another. But Jack Caglione, I genuinely think is going to have a very good year. And very good year is probably relative to some. But I think he'll hit like 240 with a 310 on base and hit 30 homers. To me, that is a dramatic improvement from the season he gave last year. And I expect him to be the biggest surprise on the positive end for the Royals this year.
Well, he's the guy that would have the biggest swing for the entire season, as we've discussed, if Jack Caglione ends up being that. And I still am very high on what he could potentially bring to the table. The Isaac Collins part of it, as far as what could be a disappointment, look, we have not seen him play in a Royals uniform yet, but I would say when the Brewers traded him, everybody was a little skeptical, right? Like a little skeptical on what exactly the reasons were behind the trade for the Brewers. Like, hey, what are we missing here for a guy that was, battling for NL Rookie of the Year, but also didn't get called up till pretty late in his career? Why would they be willing to move on? The Brewers are usually a pretty smart organization. I know the Royals gave up pieces, but I think the outfield, likely at some point, if Michael Massey gets healthy, Cody, you could see Michael Massey play in left field. If in fact, like
I think
who
there's
they
a
would
decent
likely
chance.
pivot to.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's some possibility. I don't rule it out. Like I really did look at the Royals roster pretty significantly, and like disappointment in the pitching staff's a little harder to come by unless you think Noah Cameron's going to take a big step back or Seth Lugo is going to be the guy from last year. Can I put someone in the sneaky surprise category? Because in the end, like you said, the biggest impact for surprise, giving this answer won't do anything in the sense that it won't have a major impact as this person won't be pitching super, super important innings really early on. I think James McArthur is going to be a perfectly fine reliever for this team this year. I think he's going to pitch in like the 6th inning or occasionally in a blowout. And you're going to be like, wow, James McArthur looks pretty good. Like surprise in the like people expect him to go out there and just get shelled. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he will be a perfectly acceptable player for Kansas City this year. I really do. The ones that are tough for me is I don't want to get too high on Lane Thomas. Maybe he's the surprise for some people. I feel like I'd be more worried he's on the disappointing end because everyone just is like, well, maybe he can just be 2 years ago. And I don't want to get my hopes up, I guess, on that category.
See, I'm more confident that Lane Thomas has a big year than Isaac Collins.
I am too. That's why Isaac Collins would be my answer before that, but I'm worried about both. Like, Caglianone's the one I'm worried the least about, and that might just be because of upper end talent. It might very well be. Who did you say is your disappointment, you think?
Yeah, I mean...
Collins with me?
Isaac Collins is on the list. I mean, Carlos Estevez, I told you, I think he's going to regress quite a bit from a year ago. But I also, as we'll discuss at 11 o'clock, I think the worry about the velocity right now, it can't be confirmed until we're 2 or 3 weeks into the season, because last year his velocity was kind of down to begin the season and he didn't look sharp. And then we all know the rest of the season he was one of the better closers in all of baseball. So I think we'll have our answer on Carlos 2 weeks into the season. So he would be on the list. Disappointment part, I mean, it's always at this point in time kind of weird to predict who's just going to have a terrible season. I mean, you don't want to put it on somebody. That's a little weird.
Well, Michael Garcia, let's go back. Last year was Michael Garcia, sorry, now. But, last year he was Michael. So
does Bob know that it's Michael now, or is he going to call him Michael the whole season?
That's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Michael Garcia was easily the biggest surprise last year. That was the one where you're like, wow, he came out of nowhere. People didn't expect, and not out of nowhere, but nobody expected him to have the kind of season he had. That also goes back to, and this is why it's hard to predict surprise in the positive gold, is it's a pretty established team. You kind of have to go down the depth chart a little bit. I can't say Bobby or Vinny or Salvi or, Michael Garcia, I can't say any of those guys are going to be a surprise at this point. Noah Cameron or Garcia would have been the two answers last year. So who is it this year that is it? Like Luinder Avila was someone I very strongly considered. But the problem is I don't think he's going to be surprised until July. Like I think unless one of their starting pitchers get injured, I think it's going to be a while before Avila can like do anything for the team and, make a big impact for the team. He might be the biggest surprise come All-Star break. But if it's not before then I'm having a hard time kind of predicting it.
Someone's asking if we're going to start the 6th infantry. I don't think so.
Yeah, let's just put it. You know what? If he becomes like the stable 6th or 7th inning guy, can we just put some tape over it and go out there one more time? I still got my hat. I still got my shirt.
Yeah?
I've still got I think the banner is still in the office. So maybe just one piece of tape over there. MacArthur 6th infantry. Do you think MacArthur's going to be okay this year? I think he was fine until he got hurt. He fell apart, got hurt, couldn't come back. And then, turns out he had what? Did he get thoracic outlet? Is that what it was for him? Do you remember, Gold?
I don't remember the exact injury.
It's been too long now. I got to look. G. MacArthur. Elbow strain. Ulnar collateral ligament. The UCL sprain. 2 screws to stabilize the elbow was James MacArthur. But again, he was their closer for a little bit. That's a completely different category. That guy can't pitch in the 6th inning effectively. That's also just like part of where their season goes. I wish I could give you an answer of one of like the super young names in the Royal system that I love. Like you and I have joked about David Shields or Kendry Churio, but they're 18 years old. So in fairness, I can't do that. I don't know if you saw Baseball America put out an article headline today. So Baseball America, the number one prospect, I would say pretty easily the number one prospect-based guide in there. This is their headline goal to get excited. Kendry Churio's potential is hard to ignore with the stock up emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Could the 18-year-old be baseball's next top pitching prospect? Here's why he fits the bill. So you're like,
Still a couple years away, though.
He's 18.
Still multiple years away.
In fairness, the best pitching prospects occasionally make it up at 20. It does happen. Who's the kid who just got? Oh, now I can't remember. Oh,
For who?
I gotta remember now.
I have no idea.
It was just announced this week that like a 20-year-old made a rotation. Oh, now I can't remember. And I mean, you would think likely would be Nolan McLean. Is that who it is? I don't remember. I'm going to have to look it up. I don't remember now. It's too long ago. I don't remember. It was like 3 days ago. It's never going to come to me.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll talk some more Royals baseball. JJ Picollo, Royals general manager and president of baseball ops, will join us here on Cody and Gold. Let's pivot to the Chiefs a little bit. And yesterday we were going through and saying, hey, what's the next signing? Is there going to be another signing? And during the show, it became official that Travis Kelce had the contract signed. And towards the end of the show, people freaked out about the contract until they recognized that it wasn't a 3-year deal, in fact, and it was only a 1-year deal.
We tried to warn that kind of right away. I think what's been the biggest thing for me this offseason so far, the most encouraging thing is their entire offseason has mostly been, we're not going to do the same thing again other than Travis Kelce. And I understand this, but why Kelce? And I've pointed this out a million times in a row. Travis Kelce is still better than all but 5 or 6 maybe tight ends in the entire NFL. Production-wise, he's better than all but 3. So, I don't mind if they run it back with Travis Kelce, as most teams have a 600-yard tight end in their unit. So, they already get something significantly better at that position, even with an aging Travis Kelce. What I like about it so far is they seem to be targeting different, they're obviously going to completely revamp their safety and cornerback rooms. They're bringing back Tranquil. They're going to rework his deal, but at cheap. So, it's not like I can be super offended by that, but they're going to go somebody else besides Leo Chenal. Right now, they haven't brought back Dan or some of these other random defensive linemen. They didn't bring back Hollywood signed somewhere else. Juju Smith-Schuster's not coming back. I like for the first time in 2 or 3 years, they're going to do something different. And obviously, we've talked about why they needed to do that. But I felt like that their plan had gotten stale and that they were convinced years and years in a row. Brett Veach was convinced years in a row that he had the right plan. He just wasn't healthy enough to execute it, or they didn't have the right system in place yet to execute it. But I like that at least they're finally doing something different on paper, aren't you?
To a certain degree. I mean, I think the Eric Bieniemy bringing him back, we don't have to rehash that conversation. Bringing Eric Bieniemy back as the OC, we're going to find out if that's really doing something different or not. They did not interview any other candidate for the job. I still don't think that was a sign of things being different. I look at the positional coaches, and they revamped the offensive staff just about as much as you could from that standpoint. including running back and wide receiver coach, which needed to happen. In terms of the overarching, hey, will Andy Reid change his ways to a certain extent? That we're not going to know until the season starts. Are they going
the Kenneth Walker part of that becomes an interesting
RPOs?
Caveat.
Are they gonna not run RPO as much? Is Kenneth Walker going to be a bigger factor? Are they going to trust him in certain spots? How are they going to handle some of these wide receivers in the draft if in fact they spend a pick on one? I think there's two different thoughts. Is it the front office approaching things differently, or is it the coaching staff approaching things differently?
I think already you can tell that the front office,
I agree with that part of it,
has been doing that. To your point, in the coaching end, we can't really know that until we get closer. What's your best guess for where do you think they'll finish in passing play percentage in the NFL? I'll give you the last 3 years. They were 6th, 10th, and 7th in percentage of times they passed. Would you like 2018, the last time they had an elite level running back who led the NFL in rushing? They were 10th. They've never been lower than 10th. That is the absolute bottom barrel they've been.
And they
in
probably
any
shouldn't.
conceivable year.
They probably shouldn't. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, and Andy Reid's your play caller. I mean, it should always still be a very pass heavy, pass first type of scheme. I don't even know if it's the flat out rush attempts that have to increase. It is the effectiveness of those that is going to likely increase with Kenneth Walker, and then how much does that effectiveness then lead to better passing and opportunities down the field for Patrick Mahomes, and to where defenses are respecting it. That's where Kenneth Walker and hopefully a little bit of a scheme adjustment can help them.
No, and I think they have to make a scheme adjustment. Why do you go for a running back who hasn't been operating at any level of his college or NFL career, operated with RPOs, if you're not planning on eliminating them in some way? We talked about this last year. This is one of those, I think, missing elements for some Chiefs fans on the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs were good at running from under center. They can do that with Kenneth Walker. The thing they were bad at was passing under center, which I think is where the scheme changes are going to need to happen. I don't think they have to change their entire run scheme to run under center well. Just run behind Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, and you'll mostly be fine. Run behind them and Joshua Simmons, and you'll probably be okay. All of those things are true about it. What they couldn't figure out, and what I still don't know how they'll implement new scheme is, they have to do it with mental reps from Mahomes until at least August. And so you're just going to show him a bunch of tape of what other teams are doing and hope that he can mentally grasp the shift. Because as much as I said, why sign Kenneth Walker if you're going to do RPOs? The reason why RPOs exist, and I think Nate Taylor pointed this out, the reason why RPOs exist is because Patrick Mahomes has been doing them since college. The reason why they put them in their NFL offense is largely because Patrick Mahomes is comfortable with them. So I don't think they're gone, Gold. I just meant, can there be less? Or can you convince Mahomes that in those option plays, that because you have Kenneth Walker, you should hand him the ball more? Like, just mentally, hey, we're handing the ball off more in those situations. We're still going to run him. You like him. That's fine. He gets the ball more. I know you're looking at the defense, but if it's this case, or this case, hand it off and let's see for a little while. Let's prove to you that Kenneth Walker is the kind of player who can take advantage of that. Because I almost don't want to spend another offseason talking about how they're going to get the deep ball going again. Because I am truly at the point now is I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not letting some training camp practice on August 17th. That's too late. August 1st, August 17th, they're pretty much by preseason game number 1. Convince me that they love the deep ball again. They love throwing the deep ball at training camp, Gold. How many training camp deep passes do you and I see every year? 4,000?
Yeah, it's never carried over to the regular season.
Sure hasn't.
The closest thing we saw was Tyquan Thornton the first, 6 weeks of the year, and then once Rashee Rice was back, as we discussed, they didn't put him on the field, which is why him re-signing with the Chiefs, that has to give you some feeling that they believe that they need to impact, have him impacting the offense and involved in the offense again at a greater level than what they ultimately did the final 8+ weeks of the season.
Yeah, it's just a matter of which version of it you think you're going to get, but you're not going to be fooled into it. Gold, they could throw 400 straight passes to Tyquan Thornton in a practice, and Mahomes is healthy, let's say. They could do it as many as they want. I'm not going to believe that they actually have a deep passing game until they have a deep passing game. And the truth is, I'm going to be genuinely worried about Mahomes' ability to either execute it, and as it being this is a flaw of his game that he hasn't been able to overcome, or Andy Reid's ability to design it if they go another year without to do it. Because Kenneth Walker should make it easier, way easier, to have a deep passing game. You got a guy who runs a 4.3 40. You have Tyquan Thornton on the other end, who was already a part of the only deep passing game you had. You might draft another wide receiver who presumably will run fast. Like, there's no reason not to have some kind of deep passing game. But Mahomes has been off in that. That's been his biggest flaw. The happy feet, and, like, he's been kind of just an inaccurate deep thrower. And I'm assuming some of that goes back to being sped up, and the offensive line struggles for a couple of those years, and maybe some of it's the talent, or him or Xavier Worthy unable to get on the same page. But it just hasn't been the same, that's all. Drew, I meant to ask you, by the way. I wanted to ask you about flag football in a little bit after we get done with J.J. Picollo, because I saw your boy Joe Burrow out there playing flag football, and I thought, well,
yeah, him and
Jaden
Jaden Daniels and
we don't have to get into it all the
couple
way,
other
but
people are out
like,
there.
what the hell? Would they choose the two most injured players in the NFL over the last 2 seasons and thought, let's make those guys play flag football? They didn't watch that sand flag football game that ruined that poor kid's career in New England?
Yeah, two quarterbacks that haven't stayed healthy. It is surprised they were playing flag football.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, was getting after it too. He was out here juking some guys, and getting. He was actually getting tackled as well during the game. Yeah, it was interesting.
I do want to ask JJ about one thing coming up here in a few minutes, which is the ABS system. Did you hear that ump over the weekend? Like actively, like leaving his mic on, talking about balls or strikes in this version. I am convinced that within the first, I would almost take a bet if you let me, that in the first week of the season, that a player will get tossed for talking crap to an umpire after he got a call reversed. He'll say something like, "See, Blue? Told you it was outside." And that ump is going to turn to him and say, "Get the hell out of here."
I think it happens
and he's
eventually.
Going to toss him. I think in the first
I don't
week.
see. I think it's more like dog days of summer. Everybody's fed up with
It's
it,
hot.
and it's hot, and people are fed up. At some point, there will be some trash talk. I just don't think it'll happen in the first week. Because remember, if you at all played in the minors, some of these guys have already utilized it. And so it won't be new to them. If you've been in the big leagues for a while, that's who's it going to be new for. But it was interesting to catch the hot mic.
A ball, and Patrick Bailey's challenging this one.
San Francisco is challenging the ball call. Please be a straight.
Ooh. That one is, what is that?
It's a tiny bit low.
The call is correct. San Francisco has no remaining challenges.
1/3 of an inch.
So Drew had asked me.
He
said,
wanted the call to be. He
said-
wanted his own call to get reversed.
Do you know why? Like, I thought about
Was
this
the inning
more.
going long?
No. Well, maybe that's part of it. He wanted the guy, like, he wanted, like, I think one of it's that. I think he wanted that. I also just think he wanted the guy to strike out.
He called it a ball.
I know.
He
but like,
was mocking the batter, is what you're saying. Is the fact that he was rooting it on to be a strike, so he'd be run, but it wasn't. So then, as a result, the call was correct, so he could stand up there on his high horse a little bit, is what you're saying.
yeah, and so, like, in a weird way, it's just like, and it's just so funny. You know that there's going to be tension with it. That guy couldn't even wait to say something for 2 seconds on the hot mic. So you think eventually someone will get tossed for it, but you don't think it's right away?
Not at the beginning of the season.
I'm excited about ABS. I mean, it does beg the question of why not just do all electronic strike zone, but I like that at least there's a challengeable system and it's quick and it's
People
fair.
will
If
see
they
it.
screw up a call really bad, you can very quickly make the adjustment.
Do you think there's going to be because in the NBA, Billy Kennedy is widely known as the savant of giving the replay calls. He does the funny voice. He has the jokes. All that stuff. Is there going to be anybody like that with baseball where all of a sudden, not that they become must-watch TV in a way, but you're paying more, like they become a social media sensation because of the way that they deliver the replay reviews?
Maybe.
Baseball's too old school. I don't think an ump is going to have his personality show in his
Sheriff Joe's out.
calls. They've also already been doing. But this won't be the first time the ump turns on a microphone and talks. He's been doing that for a couple of years.
They're challenging the call. I think more so that's the batter against because players will do the whole whine and the finger thing, and then the call's right or whatever. They review the play, and it feels like there might be an opportunity for an ump to showcase some more personality a little bit.
Was anybody else deeply offended they use an NFL rules analyst for challenge calls in the NCAA tournament?
Gene Sarator did college basketball as well.
He was a ref.
Yeah, he's done basketball. Because Cody, a few years ago, I thought the same thing, but it turns out he did officiate college basketball.
I don't know.
It comes across though a little bit weird at first,
Yeah, it
especially.
does.
Yeah.
All right, up next, we'll keep talking some baseball. We'll discuss the ABS. We'll also talk opening day with the Royals as they head to Atlanta on Friday night with the general manager of the Royals, J.J. Picollo, next.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
This baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting, customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel's the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got more exciting. Maybe you want to make a bet on Vinny or Cags to hit a home run on Friday night. You can do that over at FanDuel, and if you're ready to play your game, head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Missouri, opt-in required rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, we finally made it. It's spring, and I have spring fever. I love getting outside and cooking on the flat top or the grill, and Hy-Vee has the best meat department in KC. They've got the freshest, top-quality cuts of corn-fed beef from the Midwest and the best prices in town. They also have bacon-wrapped chicken breast and stuffed pork chops, plus the fresh seafood we love at home. Make it a meal with a twice-baked potato. It's the best meat department in town. They've got the steaks, they've got the chicken, they've got the seafood, and you can get it only at Hy-Vee.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March, and Kansas City is crazy about college hoops. Pick your bracket, call your friends, and count on Hy-Vee for all your game day snacks. Hy-Vee makes your watch party easy with a huge selection of ready-to-serve party trays, boneless wings, barbecue, sushi, pizza, and fresh bakery goods. Order ahead through the Hy-Vee app, online, or at your favorite store. Even if your bracket is a bust, your watch party will be a winner only at Hy-Vee.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been nonstop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,500 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And that's just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months, and people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out, when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
But don't wait. These offers end soon.
Bring the flavor home with Gates. Gates seasonings are perfect for everything. Meat, chicken, fish, and veggies. Sprinkle it on or mix it in to enhance your favorite dips and dressings. Don't forget, Gates sauces and seasonings are available at your local grocery store, so you can enjoy that rich, smoky taste anytime. Visit any of their 5 locations to dine in. Pick up or grab a Gates party tray for your Easter gathering. Celebrating 80 years of serving Kansas City. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats, looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the ranch.
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Brought to you by Gravely Commercial Mowers. Gravely Mow the Difference sales have been on now through March 29th. Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely Commercial Mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 29th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, just getting started here on a Tuesday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Don't forget, on Friday, we will be out at Rally House in Independence, getting set for opening day. We'll be hanging out there, giving away some gift cards to Rally House. A perfect chance to get geared up before the home opener at Kauffman Stadium Monday against the Minnesota Twins. And to talk some more Royals baseball, we welcome in the general manager of the Kansas City Royals and president of baseball ops, JJ Picollo. The WBC created all this excitement, and certainly you guys had stars throughout it. And then to see Michael Garcia get MVP of the entire World Baseball Classic. I know I've asked you, I think the last 2 times you've come on the show, what's it like as a GM to watch it? But then now to see one of your players also pick up an MVP award, what was it like having them back in the facility after the WBC?
That was incredible. I mean, it was exciting for all of us to watch. I mean, really everybody in the building, major league, minor league, everybody's watching those games at night. But to see your own guys perform the way they did was really incredible. And then when they got home, we needed that energy. You know, you get to that point where you get the last 6-7 days at camp, and for Estevez to walk through the doors, then Salvi, then Michael and Bobby and Avila. Vinny and Cags, all those guys were part of the semifinals, and you felt the whole clubhouse kind of lift up and re-energized. Just to have all those guys back, and knowing it was the last week and the opener's here in a couple days.
I saw Salvi got a rather sizable tattoo for the championship. Did you get a first-hand view?
Oh, I did not see that. I'll have to see it. He's at it, and he's got the World Series championship and now the Venezuelan championship.
I saw it on Instagram, in fairness, JJ, so it's not like I think it's a relatively fresh tattoo.
Okay, well, it would have to be, right? We'll see.
Going back to just Michael Garcia, can you walk us through internally the conversations around him? Because, to some on the outside, last year for Michael Garcia could look like a out of the blue season, as in statistically way better than what he had done at any point in his career. Internally, is this still the ceiling you saw for him at the time that happened? And you guys were just waiting for this jump? Were you guys taken by surprise? Just walk me back a little bit in time about what Garcia ended up being for you guys last year, and of course this year for the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I mean, we really had a lot of confidence that Michael was going to be a really, really good major league player. That can mean a lot of different things, So, but he was really athletic. He played great defense. He wasn't strong. He was 130 pounds when he signed. So when he came to the States, he's only 150 pounds. So I remember going through meetings, and a lot of discussions were, is he going to get strength? Because the ball just didn't come off his bat. But everything else that he did was outstanding. And when we think about a Royals-type player, of course, it's hard to have 13 guys that can run, field, run the bases well and hit. It's really hard, but that's the ideal player for us. And that's what he had. He had those tools to be so well-rounded. And, of course, you guys know, I mean, there was a time where, we really believed he was the best defensive shortstop in our system, even with Bobby there. But as it worked out, Bobby kept getting better, and he's super athletic, and now you slide Michael to third. Wasn't as comforting when he was at third because it kept, not just me, but others, how do we get him in the middle of the field? That's why we toyed around with center field. But now that he has filled out and now he's, the 20-something-year-old version of himself, he's physical. That strength that you were banking on coming has come. And now it's paying dividends offensively where he's becoming a more explosive and dynamic offensive player. So to see what he did on that stage, we weren't surprised. I was reminded, while he was doing that when we were in our meetings going into the Yankee series in 24 in the playoffs, he wasn't swinging that well, but to a man, everybody felt like he needed to be in our lineup because you just trusted him in the big moments. So internally, we weren't surprised he played well in the WBC. Would we have predicted the MVP? Probably not. It's just, but you could see it happening. It was going into that last game. I'm like, if he does one thing in this game, he's the MVP of this series. And it speaks volumes about who he is and how he's grown and the confidence he now has in himself as a player.
Did you know about the name pronunciation switch? It's been an adjustment for us on the radio, I'll tell you that.
So yes and no. It's always been one of those things. I hear people call him Mikey. I hear him call him Michael, like the American, the English Michael. And then it was explained to me the other day that it's like, if you were phonetic spelling, it'd be like M-Y, Michael, which you say quick, it sounds like Michael. So, no, I didn't know. I just honestly call him Mikey most of the time. Just call him Mikey. So hopefully we get that right because it was kind of a little bit of a story for us back in Arizona when it came out.
Last thing on the WBC, have you guys considered getting an espresso machine for the dugout, knowing how well it worked for Team Italy?
Well, that is up to the players. They will decide, but I have a feeling you're not going to see an espresso machine. You want to be original. That wouldn't be very original. That's an Italian thing for the Italy team. We need to come up with our own royal celebration, whatever that may be.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. The last time we had you on, we asked about Carlos Estevez, who, of course, was in the WBC, and the velocity concerns that some fans had noticed as well. Fast forward now, it's the week of the season. We saw him pitch last night. Is it still the feeling that maybe it's just going to take a week or two into the season for him? What's the organization's feel around Carlos right now?
Yeah, the only thing we can go on is past history, and that's last year was more concerning to us because we hadn't experienced it before. Now, last year he also had a back injury, it slowed him up, and then he had 5 outings. But his velocity jumped 3 to 4 miles an hour once the regular season started. That gives us a little bit more comfort this year than last year. But still, it's obvious. Like the velocity still needs to come. The good thing is I don't think it's something he needs another month and a half to have it come. It's just about getting the repetition. I mean, Carlos is a big man, and to get that body moving the way it needs to move and to sync everything up just takes a lot of reps. And, he was one of the guys, unfortunately, didn't get as many outings in the WBC that as we were hoping and he was hoping because we felt like the WBC may help him be more ready opening day. So, I think last night the encouraging thing was he faced 4 hitters in an inning and he punched out 3. And, so even with it, without the velocity, he still was effective last night against a lineup. He came in before all the regulars were out for Texas. So he faced the actual, guys who were going to be on the opening day roster. So that's a good thing. But, we're aware of it, but the confidence we have is much higher this year just because we lived it last year as well. So we'll see what this week brings.
What have you guys seen out of Jonathan India so far this spring? Obviously, when you guys made the trade for him, you were hoping for that on-base guy that they saw a couple of times in Cincinnati. He had a hard time in the leadoff spot. Obviously, Michael Garcia's moved to that for the team. But, what have you guys seen out of Jonathan India? Does he look more comfortable this year or in the hopes that you're going to get a better year too?
Well, he definitely looks more comfortable. I mean, the good thing, or I think a really positive sign, he did it last night as well. When he's hitting the ball the other way and it's low line drives the other way, I think that's when he's his best version. And we've seen a lot of that. He's moving better, watching him run the bases. He's moving better. he did a lot of work on just getting his body a little bit, I'll say leaner, but just more athletic. He went back to some training he had done in previous years that's really helped him, and we thought it paid off. And we just need Jonathan. And looking at his OPS last year, it was about really about 10 to 15 points off of what his career OPS is. So he's not like that far off of what we acquired him to do. And guys are going to have some years where there's some ups and downs, but I think this year is going to be a different year for him. He's got a really good outlook on where he's at and where this team is, and he wants to win just like everybody else. And I think, all of our guys realize that if the team's playing well individually, they will benefit. It always seems to work that way. When a team's clicking, all of a sudden you look up and you're like, hey, he had a career year and he had a career year. I think Jonathan falls into that category. Team's playing well. It's a lot easier to go play every day. When team's struggling and you feel like you need to be one of the main guys, you can put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. And I think Jonathan experienced that last year.
With Bobby Witt Jr., just obviously everybody knows he's one of the best players in the sport. What do you guys think his upper end power potential is? Last year was in the 20s, the previous 2 years in the 30s. Do you guys still view him as one day he is going to put 40 or 50 in the stands? Or how do you, just view his eventual power potential?
I do think he's very capable. I don't think he needs to do it to define him as a player. I think just the getting on base and being athletic and hitting 25 to 30 suits him just fine. But I do think he has the ability to do that. It's not something he needs to do. It's not like when you get guys that are more middle of the order guys and it's run production, they need to hit the 30 to 40. That's their job. It's not necessarily Bobby's job, but he's capable, and I just wouldn't be surprised if he did it at some point in his career. I just would be surprised if it was in like the top 5 goals for himself to hit 40. He just doesn't think that way, but he's capable for sure.
It just seems like the kind of team that's got a lot of guys capable of hitting 30, especially this year, maybe the most power you've had on a team in a while. JJ, is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't gone back and just looked at the rosters of the last 10, 15 years, but this team has a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, not just because the fences are changed. Guys mature as players. I mean, they mature. They figure out how to take at bats. They figure out what counts they might get a pitch that they can really drive. And you see the home run production going up. And I think when you tie that to the fences, our hope is more just from a mental and psychological standpoint that they're not trying to do more to get them out of our ballpark now. That was a big part of our thinking in bringing the fences in. Just take your normal swing and the ball's going to go out of the ballpark. So that's also something that could factor in. But, there is home run potential in there, but I also think we can't set our sights on just being a home run hitting team. We need to create runs, move runners, get them in from third, do all the little things that good teams do to win, and that's how we maximize our win total, along with a little bit more power.
I know the schedule is the schedule, and you guys don't worry about it. But we were talking earlier in the yesterday, I guess, just about it's weird opening up on a Friday night and not having like the normal opening day setup.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a little disappointing. It's a disadvantage. I'm not real sure why it was switched, but it is disappointing because a couple things, and we don't have enough time to get into it. But one, you get the obvious, the weather. If we get rain down there, then we're playing a doubleheader on Saturday. That's the whole idea of playing on Thursday and having off Friday. But the other thing it does, it only gives us one off day in the first 10 days when a guy is on option, where typically you have 2. And if you have 2, you got a little bit more of an advantage. So it's without getting into all that, I'd much rather have the day game, sort of wake up in the morning, get to the ballpark, the sun's out, fans are excited, there's a buzz, and you play a day game and go have a nice dinner after the game.
Right.
But that's not the case this year, but we'll get to do it on Monday at home. So that'll be good too.
Yeah, we'll talk to you on Monday out at Kauffman Stadium. We're looking forward to the true, I guess we'll call it the true opening day there for a day game at Kauffman on Monday. And appreciate you coming on the show.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me on, and I'll see you out there next week.
Sounds good. That's JJ Picollo, Royals General Manager, President of Baseball Ops. as they get set for Friday against the Atlanta Braves. And then, like honestly,
Totally agree with
Monday's going to feel like the real opening
Yes.
day. I understand they play Friday night, but no, we're in lockstep. It's interesting to hear, obviously, his perspective on it too. Because as a fan, like, I hate that they're playing Friday night. I know, like, we're gonna be excited to see you guys out at Maloney's and watch the game and everything, but like,
It throws
I
the energy
don't
off.
like that it's Friday night.
It
either.
was originally scheduled for Thursday.
Yeah, it's Apple TV thing, right? Is
Yeah,
that what happened?
it's a partnership. Yes, that's what it is. Apple TV wants to have the like, look at us. It's Friday night baseball, and we want you paying attention. And like, it's just working with partners.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right; it screws them over a little bit. Everybody else gets the normal. Hey, work this day. If it doesn't work out, then you can just get, like they scheduled these days around. Same reason the Royals are off on Tuesday.
What is the weather like in Atlanta? Aren't they? He mentioned just just in case there was something. Is it supposed to be fun down there?
I don't know. I haven't looked, honestly.
Truist Park down in Georgia. Friday. I'll have to skip ahead. Give me a second.
Should be
I'll
able to
pull
skip
it
too
up.
far ahead. It's only a few days.
Yep, it's just loading. I don't have it saved.
You don't have Atlanta saved.
I do not
in
have
your-
Truist Park in Georgia saved. Friday right now looks like it's supposed to be 84, cloudy, good to go.
But still, it does invite any kind of problem. But if it rains out on Saturday, then whatever it is. The point is that it's just not. It's not advantageous, and it's different than pretty much every other team in baseball is going to do. And so for them,
You
I'm
can tell
sure
they're
it's annoying.
You can
He's
tell,
a little annoyed.
You could tell that means speaking for the organization there, you could tell they're not thrilled with it necessarily.
No, he's not happy about it.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Again,
Yeah.
you and I have hated it pretty much from the beginning. Drew, I had mentioned in the last segment I had watched American flag football against the Flag Football USA squad versus some NFL guys. I want to point out first off, I think that the USA football crowd, the ones who are like, we told you we'd be better than NFL players, relax. Relax a little. You were facing Gronk and Odell Beckham. They're not even in the NFL anymore. Like, there were celebrities on the field. This is not like a real indication of what NFL players would do against flag football players.
This was the Fanatics inaugural Fanatics Flag Football Classic that was out in LA. And it was celebrities, it was former players. I didn't even know this thing was happening.
But some of the USA flag football players were on the field, and they looked more comfortable than some of the NFL players, which I'm not saying is a surprising thing. This all goes back to the idea of, will NFL players want to play for a gold medal in flag football? I'll be honest, Drew. I didn't realize the thing was coming up, and then I was watching some highlights. I was stunned. Cincinnati let Joe Burrow play in that, and that Washington let Jaden Daniels. Joe
I don't know
Burrow,
if it's up to them.
he's had a serious health history, and Jaden Daniels coming off a serious injury that held him out for the end of the year. What the hell are you letting him out there playing flag football for?
I don't know if it's their decision.
I mean, they got contracts. They can't go jet ski, but they can play in this.
Joe Burrow might be able to go jet ski. I have no idea.
I mean, it's
I
just
don't know
in
what
most of those contracts. Like
Yeah,
Patrick
I
Mahomes
mean-
joked he couldn't go play pickup basketball anymore. You know?
I still think that's ridiculous, but to each their own. Yeah, apparently it's not in their contracts.
But if it were up to you, you would prefer he did not, I assume. I hope.
I don't care.
It's one of those things. I don't think anybody
really
cares
don't
as a
care.
sports fan until your player gets hurt. Like, I don't think deep down a Chiefs fan would care if Patrick Mahomes was going for a gold medal in a flag football game. Nobody
Gold
cares.
medal's different. This is just like a...
This is a classic thing. I think a lot of it is you don't care until your guy gets hurt. I mean, Gronk's retired, so it didn't matter, but he left in the first quarter because of a hamstring injury. Now he's been retired
Yeah,
and he's out of
slipped a
shape
little on the
or
side of the
whatever.
field, I think is
but,
what it was.
But I think it's one of those you don't care until your guy gets hurt. Everybody's cool with it until your quarterback tweaks an ankle, tears an ACL.
Yeah, but no
playing
offense.
flag
Like when
football.
Logan Paul's out there chasing down Joe Burrow trying to pull his flag off, feels like there's a decent chance he might slip and make an oopsie. Might crash into the guy's knee. He doesn't know how to move
oopsie?
He doesn't know how to move his body in that situation. He actually threw a pick to Logan Paul. Joe Burrow, the only NFL starting quarterback to throw an interception to Logan Paul.
I think that I think we really over exaggerate he better not do this because he might get hurt, as if you might walk outside, slip on ice, and tear your hamstring just the same as you
But
could.
I think that this is different than like living your life. We're
No,
not
but I think this is also. I think this counts as living your life, though. Like if you want to, if Jaden Daniels wants to go out and play flag football because it's for a cause or whatever the heck this thing is for, or it's a part of an appearance or whatever, he can go do that. I think you limiting what they're doing because you don't want them to get hurt because you're paying them millions of dollars. I understand the sentiment, but to tell them they can't do something they want to do. I mean, I have a hard time getting behind that.
I think the only thing we've learned is Tom Brady doesn't say no to a check. Like,
he also looked pretty good.
He's never seen a check
He's
he won't say no
retired. So
to.
he's retired, so
I
it's
just meant
way
in
different.
general.
It's way different for
He takes.
him.
Yeah, I mean, it is like bordering on Shaq territory. I've never seen a man turn down a check. Tom's taking them all.
I will say, so celebrities are not Daryl, whatever his name was,
Daryl Green,
Daryl Doucette, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Daryl
Green wants to play. Do you see that? He's 66 now. He wants to play
in the flag football stuff.
Yeah.
Can he still move? Well,
I don't know.
But Daryl Doucette, I mean, in fairness, they backed up some of the talk. I know that the opponents were the opponents, but you're still facing NFL quarterbacks. They won 43-16 and then won 39-16. I mean, I'm not saying they beat them.
I know, but I
let's
mean,
be
come
honest.
on, man.
Like,
look at the players the NFL was rolling.
I know,
out there.
I understand that, but OBJ is still OBJ. Like, he made a ridiculous catch I saw in one of the highlights. Like, there's still some guys that can make some serious plays. Like D-Hop was out there, who's I don't think he's on a team right now. Is he? Or is he a free agent?
I'm just saying, like, there's no way you can convince me that I've watched Doucette. There's no way, even if you know how to move to not get flagged, there's no way you can convince me that he would be better in a flag football game than Lamar Jackson.
I still think they need to do.
Impossible.
They still need to do one of the Pro Bowl. They still need to have one of the Pro Bowls at this point, because this I think at least enters the discussion a little bit more. Because if they'd have lost to the celebrities and when Burrow and Jane Daniels were the quarterbacks, yeah, there's no way you guys could do it with a full team. But the fact that they scraped them, I'm fine with them doing a Pro Bowl of, hey, you guys want to play the Pro Bowlers of current NFL players? By all means, well, let's go. But again, I don't think that's ever going to happen. For the same instance that you talked about as well, the NFL itself is not going to allow the Pro Bowl to be a flag football game of their players against pro flag football players in the instance that potentially the NFL players lose in the NFL Pro Bowl. There's no way I think that happens.
I wouldn't want my player risking it. Not like if they were healthy in a weird way, Drew. My thing is more just about like if you were a never injured player, I'd think a whole hell of a lot less about it.
Yeah, I just think it's different than also like, oh, you could just slip and fall on a curb. That's just there's a reason why they have stuff
written.
written.
The guy who hurt himself.
They have language in contracts for a reason about the jet skiing and riding a motorcycle. And nobody is saying that I can't get hit by a car walking across the street. But also, clearly, Cody, it's more dangerous if I told you all of a sudden you're going to start jumping out of a plane. There's a reason why your life insurance policy doesn't pay out if you jump out of a plane, but it does if you get hit by a car. Like, there's just a difference here of circumstance. You don't put yourself in those particular spots, especially if you have a company, in this case, it's an NFL team, that has $300 million invested in you. Yeah, they do have the right to maybe say, we don't want you participating in other athletic competitions. Like
it also might be a part of the appearance fee, because I know Joe Burrow is a Fanatics person. He shows up to the card shows. And
it might be, but it doesn't supersede his contract.
He shows up to Fanatics Fest. He goes to the party with Ruben. Jaden Daniels and Brady are the same, and Gronk is all.
Sure.
I think this is part of the appearance thing. I think that also is.
Yeah, but that doesn't change his Cincinnati contract. Like, just because he wants to earn a check from Fanatics doesn't mean Cincinnati has to let him do that.
But again, I have no idea if it's even in his contract. For all I know, Cincinnati is like, dude, go knock yourself out. Go to as many of the fashion shows. Go play flag football. Go do whatever you want to. Like,
I'd be surprised.
I don't think they might not have it in the contract.
If you pay someone $500 million, I'd be stunned if there weren't some limitations for physical activity that you can do. As in, like, the same as, like, the pickup basketball, the guys. Like,
they might have approved it,
regularly.
Though. Like,
yeah,
to your point, they may have said, sure, go ahead and do it. But this idea that it's the same thing as going to a fashion show, come on.
I'm not.
He's just saying he has the right to do a lot of this stuff, but also
I'm saying things that he likes to do. I mean, you know what? Maybe I should have included playing the piano at home, because his wrist and everything like that. That was during the Netflix series. I wasn't comparing the two.
But
things
again,
together.
I don't
feisty today. I like it. Finally,
but I don't.
No, it's just that
finally we got it.
No, it's just that you're. I don't. When people assume things that I say, which happens a lot, you're not. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. When I'm not comparing.
Well, that one was confusing because you were just saying, like,
I said if
he
Joe
could
wants
get hurt
to go,
walking outside.
You literally gave that example.
That was the one that got.
That was literally your example.
Because it's things he likes to do publicly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have liked me just to say flag football and not include the other things that we know he likes to do, then
no,
sure.
It's fine. I just think when we're talking about, like, the injury, not for just him, but just like any of these players.
Like, hey, Pat, you can't go to Texas Tech to watch a game because you might slip when you walk out onto the field or something like that.
We're back to that.
But
again.
I guess that's like where we're saying the line is different. We're not saying Patrick Mahomes can't have a social life. I'm saying I don't want Patrick Mahomes playing a pickup basket. I don't want to play him in the NBA All-Star game, like, because he's going to get paid $500 million. And look, the truth is, and this is like the way I would say for any professional athlete in a situation like this, you got like a 15-year window. You can play all the pickup. You can do all the Tom Brady pickup football you want for the rest of your life after age 40 once you retire. We got 15 years to keep you healthy and try to win Super Bowls. Like, and this is not like me trying to tell someone something to do. I'm just saying, like, if I were a team paying someone $700 million, I wouldn't want them out there playing flag football. The only football I want them playing is for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want them playing football somewhere else. In any circumstance.
It just feels like a very thin line that
I think there's a big gap between that and like just leaving the house.
No, I mean, sure, but I mean, like if you want, like if Pat wants to play pick a ball with his son, are the Chiefs not going to let him do that? Because, you know, there's a gray area there. Like you can make an excuse for everything and say that, well, it doesn't meet this criteria or that criteria. But if it's along the lines, if you can't play pickup at all, period, but his son's like, Dad, I want to go play pickup, Pat has to say no per the Chiefs. I think you're limiting a person's ability to just live their life.
I guess, but like, I still think that you're drawing an interesting line that they're all created equal. And I don't think they're all created equal. Patrick Mahomes playing against his 5-year-old kid, pick up in there. I don't think he's straining himself while Joe Burrow tries to like juke out other professional athletes.
All right, coming up next, let's talk more about Carlos Estevez and the velocity that is down. How concerning is that? Plus, the latest on Kansas and the future of their men's basketball coach, Bill Self. There was a report out last night from Mike Vernon over at KU Hearings. He's going to call into the show coming up at 11:10 right here on 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
This baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready for you on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your reward for opening week, baseball just got more exciting. For myself, personally, I'm looking at opening day. Cole Reagans is healthy, so I love a nice strikeout bet with Cole. And looking at the Royals' home opener, fences are in, the Twins have no pitching, and Jack Caglione has a chance to grab the city. Give me an anytime home run for him on that day. So, ready to play your game? Head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB, and FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. Turn to Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. With temperatures rising, now's the time to make sure your AC is ready to keep you cool. Whether it's your home or your business, Comfort Systems services both residential and commercial systems across the Kansas City area. Call today for a fast tune-up, repair, or a system upgrade so you can stay cool all summer long. Family owned and operated since 1990, comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
We've all been there. You wake up and your knees give you that not today feeling, and it's frustrating and exhausting. Honestly, it's unfair. Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel way older than you actually are. QC Kinetics patients are getting relief, feeling younger, and jumping back into life at full speed without surgery. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science. They take the tiny, powerful healing tools already inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation eases and joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate. Your consultation's free. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexspyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Spies KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight Loss Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high. Rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. If your retirement is mostly stocks and bonds, you may be taking a risk, more risk than you think. And when you're near retirement, a sharp drawdown at the wrong time can do real damage. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all Americans' smart money uses to hedge against instability. Its precious metals, silver, and gold is having a spectacular bull run. Would it not make sense to get in before the rocket takes off? Monetary Gold have been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. They have the experience to help tailor your portfolio to your needs. If you call now, they will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. That's 877-NOW-GOLD.
Listen to the Royals opener in Atlanta against the Braves. Friday, March 27th with Vern's On Deck show starting at 5. First pitch just after 6. All right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey sports station.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined by Mike Vernon from KUHearings.com. He's been, over the last couple of years, all over some of the happenings involving the KU Athletic Department. And right now, of course, everybody's keeping an eye on what's going to happen with the future of Bill Self. Will he actually retire? And last night, there was a newsletter sent out from Mike Vernon, and I'll just read you a little bit. It said, quote, "I'm hearing Bill Self is leaning toward retiring and not returning to Kansas next season, though a final decision has not been made. These hearings are early, are coming off a painful loss less than 24 hours ago. This was as of last night. Emphasis on early, but people I trust would be surprised if Bill Self is coaching the Jayhawks next season."
I mean, that would be a quick shift. I thought Kansas fans had a couple of years left to Bill. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of, and I mentioned the health scare. He was scared enough that the ambulance got called, even if it was something minor. I can't imagine, Gold, you want to live it that way. Or what we've mentioned before, which is he has actively said that he's not going to coach until he's not that guy, or at least that's been his story this entire time. He's never given any indication he wants to coach till he's 70 or 80 years old. So
I think a lot of KU fans felt like this conversation a year ago that maybe there was 3 to 5 years left.
yeah. So if it ends up being a year, that's surprising.
To now possibly by the next week or so for this to be it, I think that part of it would be the kind of the shock of it for some. But as you said, the difference from this time a year ago was there was another incident, another health scare that happened during the season. And so, I don't think, and even in the reporting there, that he has made his decision yet. But if you can tell from people that are kind of connected within KU athletics in various ways, everybody's at least a little bit nervous. Like this time, it's like a real
He's going
possibility.
to
I think
seriously consider it.
We all heard it with the audio from post game after the St. John's loss. Like that was a different type of answer than what we had heard. I still, you can say maybe it's just the optimistic thinking in me on being a KU grad. I still think he's got one more year, and then you're talking about it. But it feels like there's at least a lot of people thinking that maybe he's really going to actually do this.
Like, obviously, you and I've been doing sports radio in this town for well over a decade now. That is easily the most down I feel like I've heard, or the most, like, reflective that I've heard Bill Self. Like, the idea that he stood up and he's like, we'll talk about it. Like, I don't know what the future holds. I'm going to have to, like, sit down with my wife and have a conversation, a serious conversation. Because the truth is for him is that he has to, because of like the level of the program and the amount of time he's been with the program, this doesn't even end up being a conversation. You have it with your wife and you make your own personal decisions. And then you have to have long conversations with Kansas and how do you help them and like what position it puts their program in. And like there's these really big things that come with being like a coach at that kind of program for the length of time. And I guess what's crazy is like, just imagine if you get like a Hubert Davis situation, Like, now, of course, you get he got a national championship, didn't he?
No, he lost to Kansas in the national title game.
Oh, he lost to Kansas in the national title game. And then it all fell apart after that. And so it's like, it's easy to make the wrong hire after Bill. And so, like, I don't think he's going to want to leave the program in a weird spot either. They got one of the top recruits in the country coming to the program again. Do they want to stay here if it's not Bill Self? Would they stay here if it was, I don't know, any of the number of coaches you've mentioned as a possibility and we'll ask Mike Vernon about?
The part that none of us can figure out other than him and his family is the health element to this entire thing. I mean, it's been, oddly enough, like the whole Mike Florio stuff with Andy Reid a couple years ago and saying he was going to retire and all that. With Andy Reid, it has always been, hey, he's probably going to coach until health doesn't allow him to coach, right? That's been the narrative around Andy Reid. I think a lot of people would have said the same thing about Bill Self 5 years ago. Like, oh, he's going to coach as long as he wants to, unless health's an issue kind of thing, even if he won't coach until he's 75 years old. Well, unfortunately, health has become a real issue for Bill Self. Yeah. Is it enough to where it drives him to say, you know what? I'm still young. I'm 63. I got a lot of life ahead of me. I don't want to, why put myself in these stressful situations that coaching obviously does potentially bring. So, all right, let's go out to the phone and welcome in Mike Vernon from KUHearings.com. You guys know maybe the newsletter, M_Vernon on social media. Mike, thanks for joining us, man. We were reading your newsletter from last night and the snippet that, of course, has gotten some traction about Bill Self and what you're hearing. Let's just get the latest. I don't know if anything has changed since last night, but what are you hearing right now about Bill Self's decision to perhaps not come back?
Hey, guys, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And, I think the latest that I'm hearing is kind of this expectation or reality or at least preparation around KU that Bill Self will not be back next year. But I don't think a final decision has been made yet, or at least last I had heard. It was as of yesterday. So we're still 24, 36 hours at that time away from, a emotional, painful tournament loss. But the initial thoughts were that may be his last game at Kansas.
the timeline because of the reality of college athletics and how it works and how the transfer portal opens up here early next month.
Yeah.
Is the expectation one way or the other, though, that this could be decided this week or certainly by early next week?
Yeah, I think so. I think they expect it to be pretty quick here. I would think that internally and for the players, because they kind of need to make their plans too. Something here probably before the end of the week is what it sounded like. I don't know when things will be public, probably shortly after that. But that's kind of the expectation, that it would go pretty quick. Sal said he wanted to get back home, talk with his family, and I think it's mostly a health decision for him on if it's a good idea to keep doing this. So again, not final, but just kind of the expectation around KU that it would go quick and that they would let players start making plans.
Who are the 2 or 3 names I guess you would expect to be on the short list if that were to happen?
Oh my God.
Or is it a long list? How about that?
Mike's not ready.
I mean,
Mike's not ready for it. I can tell.
Emotionally, yeah, it's just like, no, I mean, okay, so Jock Vaughn obviously joined the staff right this year, and part of that was feeling, I think, both parties out as a possible successor to Bill Self. He's been there 1 year, 2-time NBA head coach, obviously All-American at KU. He'll be in the mix, but I don't think this is a foregone conclusion either by any means. I think KU will probably look to some of the bigger, more successful names or proven names out there, and that goes to like Dusty May at Michigan or Tommy Lloyd at Arizona or Todd Golden at Florida. These are kind of the names on every, like North Carolina's list too. I think they've been sifting around TJ Otzelberger, which would make sense from Iowa State for KU to also look at. So like Grant McCaskill in Texas Tech. Those are kind of your group of coaches that make a lot of sense to at least go make them say no. Certainly Dusty May in Golden and Tommy Lloyd. Make them say no.
Right.
I think you have to, right? You have to do your diligence on that.
We're talking to Mike Vernon at Mike or at M_Vernon on Twitter from KUHearings.com. Again, last night he had a newsletter saying that he is hearing Bill Self is leaning toward retiring at this stage, though a final decision has not been made. What about the coaching staff as it exists right now? I mean, you mentioned Jock Vaughn. We all know he was brought in, and naturally people will connect the dots a little bit there. But other guys on staff, I mean, are you going to sense everybody's just kind of in limbo right now? And we know decisions are made quick. I mean, Arizona State just hired a coach, and Cincinnati just hired a coach. Things move so quick.
Yeah. No, KU has obviously also had some time, along with the staff, to know that this was a very real possibility. So they should be ready to move. They should, have an indication of who would be interested and who wouldn't be, and who they're comfortable going with. The rest of the staff, this is part of the expectation around KU that Self is probably retiring, has been looking for other jobs. The 2 youngest assistants, Tony Bland and Jeremy Case, have both interviewed for head coaching positions, but those are head coaching positions, so it's a natural progression either way. Case is the associate head coach at KU. He's been there a long time, played on the 2008 national title team. Would he be someone they look at too? Sure, but I don't think he's probably top. You want that head coaching experience. So it sounds like the assistants, especially the younger guys, are looking to at least interviewing for head coaching roles. And I think that's just another kind of indication of where things stand at KU right now. And even if it's not this year, they know that would probably set them up better long term.
If he decided to step away, how do you think Kansas fans, or I guess, will view the entirety of the Bill Self era. Accomplished everything he ever needed to accomplish ever. Felt like he should have gotten one more title. Like, what will the feeling be about, like, I guess, the completion of the Bill Self era if by chance this is it?
I mean, you can't ask for anything more. That's kind of where I stand on this. You cannot ask for one more thing from Bill. 23 years, he's the school's winningest coach, 2 titles. He's only been worse than a 4 seed once. Like, it's crazy when you look at the entirety of it and what the floor was with him at KU. Like, they just owned any rival, basically any other school in the conference for 20 years. So yeah, I think his legacy, like, it's going to be treated like he has been, which is, people bowing down when he walks on the court. And I think everyone's, like, it's going to be sad having him go and kind of knowing that it's not totally on his terms with his health, understandably dictating things too, or playing a role in it. So that's kind of a bummer. But no, I don't think there's anyone saying that they'd want more. You just can't ask for that in college basketball. Like, guys don't have multiple championships. There's very few coaches. So you take it. It's been as good as it possibly could have been.
Let's say he doesn't step away and we find out that he's back for another year. When you see the recent results, though, Mike, and of course, missing out on getting to the second weekend, and clearly there's been a difference here post winning a national title, and there's a variety of reasons maybe for that. What do you think would need to change, though, to get to a point where, all right, he comes back next year and they are getting to Sweet 16s and it being a legitimate national title contender again? Is there the general manager that needs to have a little bit more say in what goes on? Is it a more staff changes, or do you buy into the fact that Bill Self in this current era just doesn't have, I guess, the ability to have as much success?
Yeah, it's a fair question. The last 3 years have been disappointing, really. I guess last 4, but it's hard. He didn't coach one of those tournaments.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's totally reasonable. I think for KU, for Self, number one is, like, if he's back, you're getting another run with him. Again, your floor is pretty darn high. It's a good place to start. And then I think they would need to, and Self said this in his post-game press conference Sunday. It gives you a little insight as to, like, how competitive he is and where he's at, where he talked about not being sure he'd be back. And then he starts to get into, like, what they need to do better. And it wasn't changing their identity. It was how they recruit and evaluate talent. And I think it's about prioritizing things maybe a little differently, where that would be some spacing, some offensive rebounding. I think in shooting goes along with that, I guess goes with the spacing, but you're trying to get extra possessions and some better shots, and KU has not had the depth. They have not recruited well the last, basically since the title. Like, they really have missed a lot, and that depth has come back to bite them, and they have not been able to send waves of good players at guys. So I think it's about evaluating. A GM makes a lot of sense. Someone that could focus just on or longer, not just in this portal window, on who's out there, what are other schools doing, and kind of getting a sense of the trends, how much guys will cost, and kind of being a little bit more prepared, I think. Whereas at KU, they've benefited from their own success for a really long time and being Kansas and kind of getting, their pick. And now it's just a little bit harder. So it's about changing how they prioritize, or what traits they prioritize and how they get there. I don't know, but I do think they need to rethink that if he's back.
I put it at 0.
They had a little closer this year.
I put it at 0.01%, so I guess I'll get your answer before we let you go. Darren Peterson was on a podcast and said, I haven't made a decision. Any chance he comes back to Kansas again? I put it at less than 1%.
Yeah, I'll put it at What did you put it at?
0.01.
Give me an extra 0 on that.
Okay, there you go.
There's no way. I think that dude. I mean, he's training, and I don't know why. He's saying the things he's supposed to say, but this has been a ridiculous year, and didn't help move this thing along. So yeah, I don't. Give me the extra 0 or 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mike, appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for calling in.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Take care, guys.
That's Mike Vernon, at Mike _ Vernon or at M _ Vernon. I can't remember. I just butchered it. Yeah, M _ Vernon on Twitter. And KUHearings.com had a newsletter last night reporting that he's hearing that at this point, Bill Self is leaning toward retiring, but acknowledge it is still early. And so that's why I wanted to make sure we got him on the show, get some insight on what he is hearing. We can get back into that a little bit later on. But we do have to get to a much anticipated trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
I just have to read the headline on this one.
By now, you've probably seen the headline because, heck, even ESPN just pushed it out an hour or so ago. I mean, it's kind of been everywhere. The headline has been quadruple amputee professional cornhole player faces murder charges.
I mean, that's a headline. That'll draw your attention.
Uh-huh. He has been charged with murder and related offenses over a fatal Charles County, Maryland shooting back on March 22nd, a couple days ago. This guy is 27 years old, and he's a professional cornhole player, quadruple amputee, formally charged. A ton of questions, obvious ones, I think, with this one.
I mean, I guess the gun was specially made for a quadriplegic, which I didn't know was a thing.
There's video out there. People have been circulating on social media of how this is possible.
Of him shooting rifles and 9mm handguns, according to this. There was, and also a professional cornhole player is impressive in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN did a whole feature on him at some point, talking about the job he does, continuing to push for cornhole to become an Olympic sport.
The charging documents say that allegedly this guy pulled out a firearm, shot this other guy twice. The statement charges say he pulled the vehicle over and asked the passengers to remove the victim from the car, which they refused. And then 2 witnesses exited the vehicle and flagged down a police officer. That's how this all allegedly went down.
I mean, it is a headline that you don't expect to see. Quadriplegic professional cornhole player.
It's a lot there.
Wanted for murder or charged with murder, I guess, at least in this case, is insane. What an interesting life, I guess.
Yeah.
It does look like he's a pretty good cornhole player based on these videos that ESPN put out.
Well, he's going to have a lot of time on his hands.
Do you think ESPN? I don't think they let you play cornhole in prison, do they?
I don't know.
Do you get yard games? Be nice to keep yourself busy.
I have no idea.
You know?
I have no idea.
You get yard games? Or at least can I get some badminton or something? Ping pong?
I have no idea.
It probably depends on the prison, huh? You know?
I don't think prison will be good for him.
No, you don't think so? No. Doesn't seem like it. No, I could assume as much. How many people sent you this headline as a possible trash of the day?
I got 4 separate texts yesterday, all with recommendations, all saying trash of the day, question mark. I got even a couple today. I was like, we got it already.
So we've got 5 or 6 people being like,
got it already.
Hey, in case you didn't see this obvious headline for trash of the day, let us please be the most recent person to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this goes back, I guess this was but this was completely different because I remember the last time this came up with an amputee, it was the Oscar Pistorius stuff because, it was inspirational story. Look at him run and all this other stuff. And then he went to jail, didn't he? Oscar Pistorius?
Yeah, he shot and killed his wife, right?
Yeah, he got found guilty, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's out of jail now.
I think he is out, but I think he was also found guilty.
I think that might be right.
They don't put it on on the personal information of Wikipedia when they post he was in these Olympics for this year, they played for this team for this time. They don't put time in jail on there. So I gotta scroll down a little bit. Oh no, I take it back. They do. He was released after 8 years and 6 months in 2024.
I
don't know, man. I wasn't expecting that headline when you sent it last night. I'll say that.
Text line. something. Right.
It got dark over there.
Yeah. People are asking questions I don't have the answers to.
So they can't prove anything without fingerprints? I don't think that's how that works. The gun is just specifically designed for his use. I assume that would make it difficult for a different person to use, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I would think so. I guess I don't actually know. Did you watch any videos of him doing like him using the automatic weapons?
Yeah, people sent that. Yeah.
Did you see
He
those?
seemed pretty comfortable using it.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't watch those videos. Let's see. I'm gonna have to. I mean, yeah, he's just like loading the pistol. It doesn't look. Maybe it doesn't.
Now he's an alleged murderer.
Not great.
At 27 years old.
That's quite the turn.
That is the trash of the day. Up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We'll talk about some trade scenarios folks over at Arrowhead Addict laid out, and the most encouraging thing Cody says about the Chiefs offseason. That's next here on Cody Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 29th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Ever wonder why Fanatics Sportsbook is America's fastest online growing sportsbook? Other sportsbooks? Well, their rewards are just the same old, same old. But Fan Cash is the ultimate sports currency, and betting with Fanatics lets you stack Fan Cash. With Fanatics Sportsbook, you can get up to 10% Fan Cash back on your wagers, win or lose. Use your Fan Cash to unlock the world of Fanatics with unlimited profit boosts, exclusive merch, collectibles, and so much more. If you want value for bets, Fanatics will always have your back. And don't forget about Fan Cash draws. It's simple. Choose your draw and enter with Fan Cash for a shot at no sweat bets, casino credit, premium sports experiences, tickets, and more. Extraordinary prizes await. Did I also mention they are giving away millions in Fan Cash this year with games like Fan Cash Drop? Tap in every Friday and see what the fuss is all about. Switch to a sportsbook that will always give you more to play with. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app today. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
Well, we finally made it. It's spring, and I have spring fever. I love getting outside and cooking on the flat top or the grill, and Hy-Vee has the best meat department in KC. They've got the freshest, top-quality cuts of corn-fed beef from the Midwest and the best prices in town. They also have bacon-wrapped chicken breast and stuffed pork chops, plus the fresh seafood we love at home. Make it a meal with a twice-baked potato. It's the best meat department in town. They've got the steaks, they've got the chicken, they've got the seafood, and you can get it only at Hy-Vee.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March, and Kansas City is crazy about college hoops. Pick your bracket, call your friends, and count on Hy-Vee for all your game day snacks. Hy-Vee makes your watch party easy with a huge selection of ready-to-serve party trays, boneless wings, barbecue, sushi, pizza, and fresh bakery goods. Order ahead through the Hy-Vee app, online, or at your favorite store. Even if your bracket is a bust, your watch party will be a winner only at Hy-Vee.
Join Cody and Gold live this Friday, 10 to 2 at Rally House Independence for the Rally With Us MLB Opening Day event. Shop Royals gear. First 100 fans get up to 40% off. Plus, chances to win gift cards and home opener tickets courtesy of The Fan. Details at 965thefan.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
For over 36 years, Metal by the Foot has been your source for steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour is brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself, build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police.
Man, someone over on the text line said they had to do an inspirational speech in college and had chosen Oscar Pistorius as the subject to work on all the way in the lead up to. He said a week before he had to give the speech. Then he was accused of that and then eventually, obviously, charged with and then convicted of the murder of his girlfriend. He said he went to his professor and he's like, I don't think I should give this speech anymore. And they're like, I just pretend like it didn't happen for the speech. You're like, pretend like it didn't happen. It's a major national news story. Also, I hope that was in the time before like cell phones were regularly in class. Could you imagine someone shoots a video of you giving an inspirational speech about a guy who's just committed a murder? Like, that would be pretty bad. I was mad in high school because we got to draw presidents out of a hat. So, like, all right, everyone has to do a speech and, like, a 5-page paper and, like, a presentation on a president. They're all in a hat. So, you know, like, kid next to me gets Abraham Lincoln or, you know, any of the normal run of the mill. William Henry Harrison. That dummy died after 30 days. He caught pneumonia, died, didn't do anything as president. And it was supposed to be on their time as president. What do you want me to say? Got sick, died, accomplished nothing? How do you turn that into 5 pages?
I guess you just talk about what he was supposed to be doing, what they thought he was going to do, what his policies were expected to be. That's all you can do. Let's talk some Chiefs football. And we know that the Chiefs have first-round picks, 2 of them, 29 and 9, and then at 40 in the second round. And so the idea of them using all 3, or could they trade down, get more picks? Could they trade up? There's a bunch of options for Brett Veach heading into the draft, which is just under a month away out in Pittsburgh. And the folks over at Arrowhead Attic were going through a couple of scenarios. And look, at least these are not mock draft scenarios. When mock drafts have trades in them, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit. But these are just, in general, picking out 1 or 2 teams without doing a full-blown mock. So number 1, they mentioned the Detroit Lions, who have pick 17 and pick 50, and that they would trade those 2 picks to get to number 9. So the Chiefs would trade back to pick 17.
But would pick up number 50.
Number 50.
Okay.
In general, now I'll play out exactly who they think they could draft. But I don't want the Chiefs really trading out at 9 to go all the way to 17. That's a bit like if you told me 9 to 12, you move back 3 spots. All of a sudden, 17, you're drafting a different type of player. The idea that you're getting a for sure starter, while we all think you should at 17, there's only 10 to 12 first-round graded type of players.
Yeah.
You go to 17, you're really getting yourself out of the window of getting, the superstar aspect of a potential pick.
Yeah, it does feel like you're taking a huge risk, but there is a part of me that doesn't hate the trade down in the sense that I know that they got a lot of things they need. And the idea of 17, 29, 40, 50, it's like you want to supercharge a youth roster, you certainly could do it. My problem was they didn't pay anybody the last time they did that. They just did 1 contract for all of them except for George Karlaftis. They ran Watson, McDuffie, like they ran them all out of town in that deal. So the last time they had 4 or 5 high picks and they all worked out, they didn't give any of them a contract. They didn't give most of them a contract. How about that? So part of me thinks, like, how many of these guys are you going to run into another contract if you're not willing to do it? What's the second potential option?
With Miami. So this one makes a little more sense. This one I wouldn't hate. So this is the Dolphins trade pick 11 and 94.
Okay.
The Chiefs, of course, moved down from 9 to 11. So they moved down 2 spots to pick up
a late third
round draft
Must
pick.
Be a comp one.
And at that point, yeah, true. And at that point, the reason why I think this is okay, because if there's, let's whoever the players, I don't know if you think it's Mekhi Lemon, if you think it's Jordan Tyson, whoever, if you think it's one of these receivers, you think it's a lineman, whoever you believe that they're looking for, if they think that player's fallen 2 more spots, so you're basically getting a free pick. That kind of trade back I can get on board with because you're not jeopardizing, to me, too much the type of player you're going to get. So that one I'm okay with. Yeah, and you're only picking up one pick in the late third, but you're also only going back 2 spots. It's a small jump.
You're not actively hurting yourself. And at that point, you probably make Miami promise to tell you who they're planning on taking in an effort to make sure that it's not one of the guys that you're considering. I see option 3 is Vikings trade 18 and 49, so very similar to the previous one for pick number 9 overall, and is again too far back. Let me open up one other possibility that they mention here as well, like as in the trade back, and then we can discuss all the options on the table. What if it's the teams that are even further back, and they want pick 9, 49ers, Texans, Panthers, and Saints?
We're talking
a 2027 first rounder. So you'd have 2 firsts, you'd still have your second, you'd have your multiple thirds, but you would also have another first-round pick in 2027 from a team that could be bad, could be good, but in a draft class that I think Drew and others have said looks to be pretty good. And if you trade with a team like the Texans, Panthers, or Saints, which are all teams mentioned here, they could stink. They might not, but that could be pick 21, or that could be pick 8, 7. Like, you might be way up the board, depending on if C.J. Stroud has a bad season, if Bryce Young doesn't continue to get better, if, I mean, especially in the Saints case where you really don't know Is that the kind of trade? Are you willing to be in the teens, Gold? 18 if I'm in a 2027 first? Because I think I'd like that better than pick 49. I'd like that better than pick 50. I think I'd be more interested in rolling the dice and saying, hey, I need a couple years to build this thing back up. And having 2 firsts next year, that is sure help.
I don't know if you're getting a 27 first, though, from anybody in the teens. I think that's more somehow if there was a team at 20, in the 20s that was trying to move up, then maybe it's in play. And it's not even just that. You probably have to get a 2027 first and still get a early third-round pick in this year's draft. It would have to be a massive haul. And we all know the draft trade chart. Every team has a specific one that they trust.
Yes.
They call in the day or two before, and they check in, and every team knows which draft chart Brett Veach is looking at, and Brett Veach knows what draft chart, let's say, the Dolphins are looking at, and then there's a number assigned to each pick. And so we could probably go through and see what's actually realistic for any team in the 20s and see what that value of pick 9 is compared to getting a first rounder the following year compared to 23 and 45, let's say, in this year's draft or something.
Well,
like
and some
that.
of the teams that are mentioned, obviously, in this article are some teams that are down in that range. The Texans are pick, 28, or, you got to consider at least that as a possibility. I'll tell you right now, I would do that one in a second. I would do the Miami one without any hesitation, but I would do the 2027 first. Let's say the Texans at 28. And they say, all right, you're going to pick 28 and 29 now. Right where you're used to picking. Sorry, no top-end talent. But we'll give you next year's first.
28, so you'd have 28, 29, and 40 still, plus next year's first?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do it. I do it in a second. I know I don't get the top-end talent. I understand the risk I'm taking. But I've got 3 bites at the apple. Picks 28, 29, and 40, and a chance that one of those teams fails, and all of a sudden I'm the Rams, and I'm one of the better teams in the league, and I'm picking 13th overall. And I understand it's going to be harder to be one of the better teams in the league without pick number 9, and they may never, ever, ever pick that high again. But the temptation would be too great based on next year's draft class, especially because pick 28 next year is better than pick 28 this year, because there might be 4 quarterbacks who go before pick 28.
Yeah, we assume that's
some of the
case,
talent
yeah.
is going to be, some of the topper end talent is going to get further down the list. And if you still want like top end talent, well, you have 2 first rounds next year. You can do the same thing, but in reverse and still be picking at 8, 9, 10, 11 next year if you want, and fly up the board the same way, except for in a draft in which the better top end talent might be more aligned with you. I would also admit, any of the trading down scenarios relies on the idea that the guys I want aren't there, right? As in Bailey and Bain, and these guys are off the board. And you're staring down a list of, do I want Mansour Delane or Kenyon Sadiq, and all the 8 or 9 names we've mentioned with Kansas City as a possibility are somehow shot off the board, and you're just looking at some options you don't love. That's part of what would have to drive me to that decision making.
It's tempting. They have a ton of scenarios. I just think with Travis Kelce coming back, are they more willing to go ahead and just take the players at 9 and even be more aggressive with their picks in trading from 29? Use pick 29 and 40 to move up even higher in the round and have 2 picks inside the top 23 or something like that. Is it more likely they trade up in that particular spot? They need to utilize every draft pick that they've got. They've got a roster that needs to get even younger.
Overall.
I understand average age is young, but at a key pieces and key pillars, hopefully moving forward, we don't have to rehash the 26 versus 27 conversation, but what you're describing, that's
a full push to 27.
That's more of a push to 27 than it is 26. But Travis Kelce coming back, if that's the case, then what are you even worrying about at that point?
I guess it's like they're already dipping their toe in the 2026 waters. I understand that. And I don't think they're ever punting on this year, no matter what. They don't have to. They have Patrick Mahomes. Get in the postseason, anything
They
can
should
happen.
be a playoff team. They're just, to me, not going to be. They're not going to have a roster that puts them as a top, heading into the season, as a top 2, 3, maybe even 4 team in the AFC from a roster perspective.
And they shouldn't have to. They don't have to win a Super Bowl. I've continuously pointed this out. In the 5 Super Bowls I've watched them play, I think they've had the worst roster 3 to 4 of the times. Definitely a majority of the times. The worst roster. Still win. You got Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if they got the worst roster in a 5-4 matchup or 3-6 matchup. They're the 6th seed and they're going against the 3 with Mahomes and the 3 seeded, I don't know, North winner. Yeah, I'll take the chances. They can still win that football game. And so, like this 2027, I just feel like the potential in next year's draft is so much greater why not entertain the idea of getting into next year's with multiple first rounders? If it's an available option, in fairness, I'd say the same thing about 29.
Yeah.
If somebody offered you a second rounder this year and next year's first, or a third rounder this year, next year's first, and at 29, you had to take yourself off the board and punt to 27, I'd kick it around. I really would.
913-586-7965. Someone says the Chiefs never signed their first round picks ever. Trade out of the first for a star wide receiver. Like, who though? I mean, if you say Justin Jefferson, that's just not a realistic option. Like, yes, I also would like a Justin Jefferson on the Chiefs. A.J. Brown is the only quote unquote star receiver that's still available. That's like this idea. There's the star receivers getting traded all over the place at this point in time. Who's the other receiver other than A.J. Brown that's getting traded?
In fairness, it is kind of I'm going to do 15 years because that feels like a not an arbitrary number, but like a solid number.
Yeah.
Because that even goes back. I guess I should probably just do the entirety of the Brett Veach era. They really don't sign their first round picks. It is kind of weird. They either don't have first round picks or straight up don't sign it.
Carl Loftus obviously is the one they just signed.
So Mahomes, they signed. Weird.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Didn't have a first round pick for 2 years after that. Okay, whatever. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, of course, they didn't sign him to an extension. Didn't have a pick again. Didn't sign Trent McDuffie. Did sign George Karlaftis. Will not sign Felix Anudike-Uzomah.
Right.
Xavier Worthy, we'll see. Simmons, we'll see. So, like, the problem is that your sample size of they don't sign first-round picks in the Brett Veach era is a sample size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. He's only had the option to sign 2, and he's signed, or 3, and he signed 1.
Yeah,
so,
but like the back half of the text,
know.
though, is trading out for a star wide receiver. What? And even if you want to say that the Cardinals are parting ways, is Marvin Harrison Jr. a star wide receiver? He hadn't done anything yet. Who's
he's
the
a
star?
potential star,
Who's
but
the
he's-
star receiver you're trading for? A.J. Brown's the only one that technically is available.
They want you to trade for Justin Jefferson, but they're not trading.
Why would the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson?
The only way
They just signed Kyler Murray. They actually think with Kevin O'Connell they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah. The only way he's getting traded is if this whole thing falls apart, whole regime changes, new GM, new coach, new quarterback, and he demands out. Because even if that's the case, Justin Jefferson.
It takes another bad year. Like if things fall apart in Minnesota this year, then maybe this time next year, maybe Justin Jefferson is available.
How much better is next year's draft supposed to be than this year's? Because the way I'm hearing is like significant.
At wide receiver? Yeah.
Or just in general. At quarterback and wide receiver, significantly.
Yes.
Quarterback's always good. Any year that it's a great quarterback draft, great news to my, I can't, excited, thrilled. Want it to be a great quarterback
It's not
draft.
necessarily because there's a great quarter. I mean, Arch maybe, but it's deeper. Like there's 10, 11 quarterbacks that could get picked in the first 3 rounds.
More
essentially,
quarterbacks
4 or 5
taken, the
rounds.
better in the first 3 rounds. I don't care if they take 100.
That's the feeling now. I mean, everybody thought this year's quarterback class was going to be at least a little bit better than what it ended up being, and now we're only going to have 2 guys go in the first round. So it'd be pretty shocking if it doesn't lead to more picks next year being quarterbacks based off of what everybody's expecting, whether it's Arch or any of these other quarterbacks to be. We know Dante Moore will be coming out college next year. Did not come out this year. There'll be other names, and it would be pretty shocking if there's not at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round in 27.
Do you think Dante Moore meant it when he thought he needed to develop in college, or do you just think he didn't want to be
I think it's both.
drafted? Okay, you think it's a little
I
both?
think it's legitimate. I think he legitimately thinks he thought he could get a little bit better.
He hasn't started that many games. Actually, from like a starts perspective, there's a lot of logic in that. I think he just didn't want to be a Jet. I think more than he thought. Than he thought he wanted to be better. He was like, if I wait one more year, maybe I don't have to be a Jet.
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee he's not one next year.
Oh, I know.
I mean, the Jets went out and traded for Geno Smith. I don't think we're all expecting him to have a 8-win season all of a sudden.
Right now, I would say the odds-on favorite is he's a Miami Dolphin.
Yep. The
Or
Dolphins, the
Archie
Raiders,
Dolphin.
and the Jets are right there. Next year probably in the top 5. The
Cardinals
Saints,
too.
The Saints are interesting. Shuck showed something, but deep down, they would love to find a way to trade up and get Arch Manning to play. Of course, where his grandfather.
It's also if Arch is even
good enough,
better than the other guys. I mean, he looked really good down the stretch, but I think that also is part of the big question. Is we assume he'll be the number 1 overall pick, but I mean, if he's fine and Dante Moore wins the Heisman. There might be an argument.
If you made me guess right now, by the way, the top 4 picks in next year's draft: Dolphins 1, Cardinals 2, Jets 3, Browns 4.
You probably, and maybe not in that order, but you actually probably have a very
that's
good
1,
chance
2,
of
3,
them
and
being
4.
included in some order.
Tell me, who the hell started quarterback for most of those teams? Like it's,
based on the win totals that are out there right now.
Is that pretty close? I'm not looking at the win totals.
based on the win totals, that's kind of what it's going. Doesn't mean they're all right, but it's kind of where it could be. The lowest win totals are the Dolphins at 4.5, the Jets at 5.5, the Raiders at 5.5, the Browns 6.5, Titans 6.5.
Nailed it.
So
now look, maybe Cam Ward is just really, really awful, and then they can jump into the list, but it's some version of that. So I gotta say, that's not exactly any of those franchises. It's like you got to go be the starting quarterback for. I don't think I'd feel great about being a Cardinals quarterback either.
But that's
no
normally
better
the
or
case.
worse than
You'd
the
rather do
Jets.
that than the Jets or the Browns, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fair. I also think anytime you're drafted number one overall after a quarterback, you're going to a team that is in a bad spot. Yes, there are historical challenges with the Jets and the Browns compared to other, but if you're Mendoza, you're going to the Raiders organization. It's not exactly like they've been just this pillar of success here in the last 20 years either. Would I rather go to the Raiders if I was Mendoza than if I was getting drafted by the Jets? Yeah, absolutely. But it's not that drastic of a difference.
I would rather go to the Browns, I think, than the Jets, 100%.
The Jets are so bad.
I think you could make an argument, actually, for the Browns over the Dolphins or even maybe the Cardinals just because of the standpoint you've at least got a defense where if they get the quarterback and they pick a wide receiver that you can go with, you got the running back duo. Defense has been great.
Yeah, it's
that
going to
division would be even more brutal.
If Mendoza's any good, the AFC West will be a real challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
But, that
They're
also
still going to have the worst quarterback in the division for many years.
I know. It's just like, it's not if Mendoza's at least a passable NFL starter, it is no longer a team or two that has like a joke of a quarterback. There was some stretches there. Not the Chargers for long, because the Chargers obviously went from Phillip Rivers to Herbert. So they've never had a joke of a quarterback. The Broncos had several iterations of that. And the Raiders haven't had a good quarterback since Carr, I guess. And he was just mediocre. Gold and I are happy anytime a team in the division drafts a mediocre quarterback.
Good enough to hang around, but not a big enough problem to go just take over the division for many, many years.
Yep.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour, brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself, build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. You came across something from Jarvis Landry.
I did.
Who he fell off pretty quickly, thinking of wide receivers in the league.
Sometimes during the Chiefs Red Half Hour, it's nice to just reminisce a little bit, Gold. And I thought Jarvis Landry was talking about the time he had to face the Chiefs and the happiness that it brought him in the sense that he thought for a second they had a chance. They were going to get past the almighty Chiefs, Gold. And then unfortunately for them, Chad Henne crushed their dreams instead. Please listen to Jarvis Landry reminisce about that game.
We're battling Patrick Mahomes all the way to the third quarter. Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, knocked out with a concussion in the third quarter.
My goat coming, Chad Henne.
Bro, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yes, like God, you did it for us. Like, bro, we about to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm telling you, bro. Like we looking around like, listen, if we didn't have a chance, now we got a chance.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is out for the rest of the game. I don't even know this Chad Henne guy.
So
there's no way we're thinking that Chad Henne is gonna come in and be as effective as Patrick Mahomes. Man, I got beef with this guy. I don't know. The more you talk about and try to build him up in my head, I'm getting hot.
Listen,
because I got beef with this man.
He's a great guy, bro.
Bro,
I understand he beat you and everything, but listen, he's a great guy.
I don't think you understand, bro. Chad Henne really
the football guys.
He really crushed my dreams, bro.
The football guys wasn't on your side,
bro. He crushed my dreams, man. He crushed my dreams. This man, cold Chad Henne, came off the bench, bro. And crushed my dreams, man.
He's out there saying, thank you, God. Patrick Mahomes isn't in the game. We finally have a chance. I like the admittance of we had no chance before, but now Chad Henne's in the game. We're alive. Juice is there.
Chad Henne living in his head for the rest of his life, it sounds like.
I like
that's
that
where
about
it's
sports.
at.
The idea that Chad Henne could just and Jarvis Landry had a nice NFL career. And Chad Henne's going to be the bane of his existence for the rest of time. What a moment. Those back-to-back playoff years where they had not back-to-back, but they had Chad Henne and then they had the 98-yard drive from, who did the 98-yard? Now I can't even remember. Who did the 98-yard drive for the Chiefs in the playoffs? 2 years later. Oh, now was that Henne too? Oh, that was Henne. That was
He's the only guy that
He
they
was
needed
both.
in the postseason.
Chad Henne, playoff hero. You know,
How much money do you think Jarvis Landry earned in his career?
I mean, he signed at least one of those deals that was like
He retired at age 30.
100. Ooh, okay. Well, then $84 million. Drew, best guess? Money Jarvis Landry made?
How many years did he play?
Say he played till he was
9
30.
years.
9
Retired
years.
at
He got
30.
young.
3 different teams.
$112 million.
Too high there. 72.
That's pretty close.
72 million. His biggest contract was 2018. He made $21 million 1 year for the Cleveland Browns. He started in Miami, obviously. And then he must have got hurt. He had 1 year in his 30s with the Saints and then hung the cleats up with the $72 million.
Why not? Over at Twitch said that's more Super Bowl wins than Aaron Rodgers, Chad Henne, you know? He's got a couple of rings.
Jeez.
Hey, man, you know what? In fairness, though, Chad Henne can say he did something, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's not like just some random dude on the back of a truck. He contributed multiple times. He had to close out the Browns. He had to go 98 yards down the field. He did some stuff in some of those games.
He's also one of the best quarterbacks that Michigan's ever had.
I'm also convinced that Chad Henne's performance in those 2 postseason games is why Andy Reid will never go with an inexperienced backup quarterback. He's never going to just draft some guy in the 5th round and say, fine. Some guy who's never started a game in the NFL. He's always going to want someone who's made at least 30 starts in the league because when Chad Henne came in, he's like, yeah, okay. I'll throw this little out route real quick if that's what you need. I'll go 98 yards down the field before half if that's what you need.
Yeah,
it's why Andy's never going to the inexperienced backup.
People were texting him Matt Moore. And Matt Moore was last on the Chiefs in 2019. That was not the run, right? That wouldn't have been him.
No, it was Chad Henne.
Yeah,
he's the backup
both of them.
hero.
Both of them.
Not as good as.
And Carson Wentz never had a play in the postseason.
We'll never know with Gardner Minshew. Didn't he play like 2 snaps?
Got like 3-4 plays in and tore his ACL, and then now he's out in Arizona.
He didn't tear his ACL. Just got hurt in a different way. Remember?
Yeah, it was a different knee injury. That's true.
He got 8.5. Good for him. What a hustle. Got $8.5 million to go play for Arizona this year. Being a backup quarterback, man.
People are thinking Matt Moore after the knee injury.
Yeah.
Not the playoff run. All right, that's the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Up next, we'll get to what's trending back into the Royals, who open up their season Friday in Atlanta. We'll go through some of the biggest surprises and, unfortunately, maybe the biggest disappointment. You'll take your text as well next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Wasn't that long ago we got all that hail come through Kansas City. If you haven't had your roof looked at yet, have it looked at by Century Roofing. And make sure, maybe, how old is your roof? Answer that question for yourself. You know, when I called Century Roofing, the day after the hail hit, they were at my house that day taking a look at it, trying to figure out, hey, does it make sense to file an insurance claim? They don't just pressure you into it. They take a real, honest, hard look at it because they've got 35 years of experience installing over 35,000 roofs. Voted best of Johnson County 4 years in a row. Voted best roofing company in all of the city by the readers over the Kansas City Star just last year. Like a lot of times, again, someone might pop in your door and they'll say whatever they have to try to get the deal done. Are they going to stand behind their warranty? Century Roofing's been in Kansas City so long, so many years. You know they'll be there to stand behind their reputation. So you want a company like that with all the experience to make sure that you're there. So whether you got hit by the most recent hail or the next hailstorm comes through, remember Century Roofing to be one of the calls. Some insurance companies require you to have multiple calls anyway. Why not make Century Roofing the first one who takes a look at it? Then you can compare what these other roofing companies can offer you versus what Century Roofing can do for you. If you have roofing needs, Century Roofing is the one for you. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned Century Roofing at centuryroofingkc.com.
This is Kevin Harlan, and if I sound a little tired, it's because it's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Side Ford.
You and me both, Kevin. It's been nonstop.
Well, Rob, remind me again why.
Because Rob's Site Ford is offering brand new F-150s up to $16,500 off, 0% financing for 60 months, and 0 payments for 90 days.
Yes, that'll do it.
And that's just the F-150s. We've got the best deals of the year on Super Duty, Ranger, and Maverick.
Okay, so let me get this straight, Rob. Massive savings, strong financing, no payments for 3 months,
And people are showing up?
It's nonstop.
Funny how that works.
Turns out when you've got the inventory, the price, and the experience, people notice.
Especially when you're Kansas City's #1 top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars and over 3,000 reviews.
And Kansas City's top volume F-150 dealer.
No wonder you're tired. It's Ford Truck Month at Rob's Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
But don't wait. These offers end soon.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
Can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
Boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
This baseball season, FanDuel's letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got a lot more exciting. Maybe you want to spotlight Vinny Pasquantino and you think he has a chance to hit a home run on opening day or lead the league in RBI. You can head over to FanDuel. So if you're ready, head over there to play your game. FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. Turn to Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. With temperatures rising, now's the time to make sure your AC is ready to keep you cool. Whether it's your home or your business, Comfort Systems services both residential and commercial systems across the Kansas City area. Call today for a fast tune-up, repair, or a system upgrade so you can stay cool all summer long. Family owned and operated since 1990. Comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey Kansas City, this is Cole Reagans. On your way home from the K, tune into Vern's postgame show right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lots.
Number one on what's trending, the Royals had an exhibition game last night down in Arlington, taking on the Rangers. 3-2, that doesn't really matter. But Michael Wacha had 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, but he did strike out 5 across 5 innings through 88 pitches. So he's getting ramped up and ready to roll for next week when he will pitch in that Twins series at Kauffman Stadium. Salvador Perez also hit a home run yesterday. The Royals have one more exhibition, right? And then they travel to Atlanta. I guess they come here and then they travel to Atlanta. I don't know if they come back to KC first and they go to Atlanta or what?
Typically they do, like they have all their stuff shipped up, but because like the way the timing works, I think they give them a day or two in Kansas City, then they take the charter out of there to go meet in Atlanta. Next up on What's Trending, 2 new Big 12 coaches have been hired. We're going to be talking about it just in a little bit. Cincinnati got Utah State's head coach, Calhoun, who was one of the names rumored there with K-State. Arizona State swipes St. Mary's coach to go with it as well. Obviously heading back to the desert for him. So an interesting.
Randy Bennett's.
Randy Bennett is a good hire. A little bit older on that end. So how many years will they have with Randy Bennett? We'll see. But still, Big 12 got a little bit better yesterday in the coaching cycle.
Elsewhere, one of the young stars in Major League Baseball signed an extension with the Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong. And if you followed him at all last year, seems like a very easy guy to root for. He's been a breakout star in the big leagues after last year, won a Gold Glove, had the team's first 30-30 season in 3 decades. Still waiting on the financial terms exactly on what that looked like, but an important piece locked up for the long haul there for the Chicago Cubs.
Next up on What's Trending, there's a press conference scheduled today with free agent linebacker Levante David and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you're like, well, he's a free agent. Why are they holding a press conference together? Well, the reports are that it's likely to be a retirement press conference for, I think, the future Hall of Famer. He was an absolute menace in that playoff game, the Super Bowl game against the Chiefs. He's obviously had a great career for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll see whether or not that actually comes true. All the expectation, though, at this point is that will be a retirement press conference for what I think will be future Hall of Famer Levante David.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, we had Mike Vernon on the show in the 11 o'clock hour from KUHearings.com. He's been well connected within the KU athletic department, and last night he was reporting that he's hearing Bill Self is leaning toward retiring and not returning to Kansas next season, though a final decision has not been made. Went on to say in that same article and with us in the last hour, the hearings are early, but people he trusts would be surprised if Self is coaching the Jayhawks next season. So could have a big development and a massive opening and a massive shift in college sports for Kansas if, in fact, that happens. I think we all agree that because of the timing of the transfer portal, also how much Bill Self has talked about making sure that he puts Kansas in a good spot when he eventually does step away. Everybody's expecting one way or the other. We're finding out fairly soon, as in by the end of the week, maybe.
Kansas and North Carolina open in the same year. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Next up on What's Trending, Darius Acuff becomes the first men's hoops player to ever have a major brand shoe deal while still in college. He signed with Reebok over last night is when it officially got announced.
Ironically, Allen Iverson, who Darius Acuff has been declared as the second coming of AI, also signed with Reebok. So I don't know if there's a coincidence there or there's something behind that.
I mean, good for him. Obviously, he's a great scorer. I still think he's going to have a hard time guarding in college. So we'll see or in the NBA.
Yeah.
But he's a great player. He scores a lot, and good for him for getting a shoe deal. Very cool.
That is What's Trending.
We were watching, as I told you, my son's been into basketball. He was asking about dunking. He's like, will I ever be able to dunk? Probably unlikely, but sure,
You're already crushing his dream.
Whatever. I said maybe. You never know. He's like, you got to be really tall. And so we were watching old dunk contest, and we fired it off strong gold. We started right with Vince Carter's. We just went straight to like the best of the best. He said, is he still the best dunker? I said, no, he's retired. He's like, well, at least he got to be. His essential statement was, at least he got to be the best dunker once, That means something. At one point in his life, he was the best dunker. And he's like, that should count. I was like, yeah, I bet he's very proud of that. We didn't watch any of the last 5 years dunk contest because why?
You'd have to go back to 2016 probably to have the best one since that 2000.
Well, no offense. I'm not going to make him. We're not going to go back and watch Mac McClung win the NBA dunk
yeah.
contest. There should be NBA players you can actually watch or have played games.
Go back to Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon in 2016. That was the best one since then. You could also show them, any of those Ant Edwards clips.
Oh, we just watched. After that, we watched a 12-minute montage of the best shots. I don't know, Steph Curry's ever made.
Love it.
So we were just watching
He's
sick
all about it. That's
fadeaway
awesome.
threes, whatever. We just watched a bunch of random NBA highlights on YouTube. Do your nephews do that? They're big basketball
yeah,
fans.
they were
aren't
doing that for the last couple of years for sure. Yeah, they're very much locked. They were just in for spring break. They were just up in New York for spring break, and they went to a Brooklyn Nets game and a Knicks game. So they're all
Sick.
in. Yeah, they're all in on that. Although the night they went to the Knicks game, going back to our conversation earlier, a couple weeks ago about load management and all that. Of course, Brunson load management did not play in the Knicks game. They were excited to see Brunson.
Oh.
He didn't play. Both teams. That was against the Pacers, I think, actually.
That's why it was load
Well,
management. The Pacers
yeah.
stink.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were going to say they had some sort of Magic City promotion. I
No,
thought it was going to be the other
no.
conversation. Had kids at the game on the night that it wasn't good to have kids at the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was some load management going on for the Knicks that night. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we will talk more about the Big 12, who had 2 new hires yesterday. We know Kansas State a week or so ago hired Casey Alexander, and so compare that hire to what happened with Cincy to what happened with Arizona State. We'll get to that in just a bit, but I want to start with the Royals as they do open up their season in Arizona. Unfortunately, it's a Friday night game. It's not, and we did a deeper dive on this. It's not even on Apple TV after all that. It looks like it's on MLB or MLB.TV or
Royals.tv.
Royals.tv. The thought was they were moving it to Friday night for Apple TV, but it doesn't. If you go on the schedule grid, that doesn't even look like that's the case.
I do not understand it. I really don't. It's surprising to me that they would mess with the Royals schedule in this way as a way of it's kind of like how the NFL's been doing it. Oh, let's make you watch on a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, a Saturday, daytime, morning time, nighttime. You never get to guess. But there is, and I think JJ Picollo pointed this out, and if you missed any of that, we'll play back part of that coming up at 1:30, but it screws with the competitive balance of it. And I understand, the leagues care, fans should care the most about it, but the league cares the least about it. These sports leagues, the ones who run it, the commissioners, they don't care about competitive balance. They don't care that you're at a disadvantage because you got to play on Friday night. They don't care. They don't care if you're at a disadvantage because you got to go play in Australia on a Thursday. They don't care. That doesn't matter to them. It's a dollars and cents things. And so yesterday we were talking about some of the general Royal stuff, and I know we'll get into more of that coming up on Friday, of course, when they open the season, and Monday when they have the home opener. Do you have surprise players? Drew, we didn't get your answer earlier. We'll do Bold's prediction later in the week, but is there a player that you think will be the biggest surprise? Because last year there was 2. It was Michael Garcia and it was Noah Cameron. Those were the 2 guys who absolutely did the most with the least fanfare going into it. I thought Garcia would be a nice player. I didn't think he'd be one of the 5 best third basemen in the sport last year. I don't think the Royals necessarily thought he'd be one of the 5 best players in the sport last year. Estevez, by the way, a close probably 3rd in that category. So, there are plenty of options. The Royals, if they're a good team, will have more than a few of those names pop back up. I gave you my long, barely even matters from the team success standpoint in MacArthur. And I don't think, I give you that answer because I think he'll be a lot better. But in the end...
Well, he's going to be in low leverage spots.
It's not the player that is going to, make a distance. Could you make an argument for India? I just want to bring him up as a part of the conversation because I asked JJ Picollo about it. Could he surprise in a good way this year? Because I'm down to 0 expectation for contribution there.
Well,
I know that's a negative, but
he needs to be what
good.
he was in Cincinnati. That's what you're hoping for. You're not asking for some breakout season. Get back to what he was on the back of his baseball card in Cincinnati. Last year, injuries, say what you will, whatever happened, he obviously was extremely disappointing, and it's why some people were surprised they brought him back on what was it, $7 or $8 million tender when they could have just wiped their hands clean. I think some of that was kind of the doubling down on the trade that they made for Brady with Brady Singer involved last year, which is we made this trade. We're not going to bail after 1 year. That's a dangerous game to play. They're certainly banking on him being healthy and ready to roll. That would be a big deal for this team. As much as we talk about Caglione, as much as we talk about Cole Reagans as the biggest swing type of players for this organization if they are right all year, and in Cole's case, if he's healthy. But if Jonathan India is just what he was in Cincinnati, it's a huge boost for second base, especially with, unfortunately, the fact that Michael Massey got banged up a little bit in spring training. And I don't believe we got official confirmation yet, but there's a chance he's not ready to go.
No, it's not. They were saying, obviously they were hoping by the beginning. They don't need him by Friday night, funny enough, because it'll be Chris Sale on the mound. So
that's true.
Don't think that that's a problem. Need him by Saturday, maybe.
How long will it take until everybody's on board with the Michael Garcia name change? Someone says, why is Cody mispronouncing it? He's not. Remember, he switched. It's Michael Garcia. Even JJ Picollo joked with us earlier.
He said, I call him Mikey sometimes, so maybe that makes it easier.
Are you going to start just calling him Mikey?
Maybe, but it's just like the only part that gives me pause on that is I told you. I had my childhood best friend, his brother was named Mikey, and I saw him one time in adulthood after all these years in childhood, and I said, Mikey. And he's like, I don't go by Mikey. Like he was, like an adult man. He's like, I don't go by Mikey anymore. So I had a hard time.
Yeah, it would be weird to say at a 60-year-old start calling him Mikey.
Yeah, and like I've never known him that way, so it would feel kind of forced.
To answer your question, though, on the biggest surprise, I think India, there's a conversation to be had. Lane Thomas, I don't know if you think he qualifies, but he's definitely a player that 2 years ago the Royals wanted to trade for. He ends up getting traded to the Guardians from the Nationals, and brought some power to the Guardians lineup in their playoff push that particular year, if I'm not mistaken. And fast forward to now, you get a player that was really disappointing and bad last year because of injury. And so you're hoping for a bounce back. There's, to me, a way more likely chance that Lane Thomas has a big impact this year than it is Isaac Collins. I just think, based on the type of player they've been, Collins is a late bloomer, late arrival to the big leagues, had a nice couple months with Milwaukee. Maybe there's something there. Why did Milwaukee move on from him? There's a lot of reasons, maybe. But Lane Thomas could eventually be a guy that plays a ton of center field for you. The fact that the fences are brought in means it's maybe not as difficult. I know center field fence didn't get brought in, but the outfield fences did. And Kyle Isbell had a career year, but he doesn't give you the pop. And Lane Thomas, if he's right, he could be a 30 home run guy. He really could for them this year.
He could. And in smaller ballparks, look, Jonathan India's been a 15 to 20 home run hitter in Cincinnati. And look, their ballpark's not that small, but certainly the power numbers I would expect to go up. My answer, if I knew for a fact there'd be 15 missed starts from a starter, my answer immediately would be Luinder Avila. Because I think if he gets a chance to crack in the roster as a starter, it might be the way Noah Cameron caught the job. You might remember Noah Cameron came up as a starter, and then he was really good, and we're like, should they just keep Cameron up? And then went back to the normal rotation. And then another injury happened. He got called back up, and then he never lost the job again. Avila is the kind of guy that I think could get called up if there's an injury and just never seed it. Because I do already kind of think he's ahead of Kolek. Like, I already think he's like ahead of that grouping of guys because of the upper end potential. I don't know why you wouldn't turn it over to him first, because you got a high end chance of like real high level production out of him. The problem is like you can only give so many answers because the team is relatively established. Unless your answer is you think you're getting a huge year out of Jack Caglione, which I think they're going to have a really good year out of Jack Caglione, then you're starting to get down like on the bullpen guys or the back end starters.
Or I guess Carter Jensen. I mean, he's a rookie of the year candidate. I just hope he gets enough opportunities throughout the season. A few people mentioning Jensen's name on the text line. I mean, he's a legit Rookie of the Year candidate. So naturally, as far as a surprising player, I guess you would put him in there. I think what's weird, the reason why maybe he doesn't come to mind first for some people on the surprise route is last year he looked like he belonged already.
It'd be more of a risk saying you think Cags is going to have a big year than Carter Jensen right now. I think to fans, because of the way, and Carter Jensen only played, this is why,
sample.
Don't make a decision on either of those guys yet, is I guess what I would say. Good or bad. Carter Jensen played like 25 games. Cags played like 50. Like, I can't, they were both awesome in the minor leagues. So, like, making a decision based on that is really difficult. It's that or go down to the 40-man and mention a list or a name of a player that maybe hasn't come up yet. You know, you think it's Kudrna or you think it's, somebody said Alec Marsh. He seems like he's been perpetually on an injured list.
Stay healthy.
I'm not going to say Alec Marsh until he's pitching again.
Is he pitching this year?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he got put on, he just got moved to the 60-day or... I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him pitch in so long. I can't, I'm not doing that. And I don't think it's any of the, like, you don't have to bother saying Waters or Rave or any of those names that,
you know what that
at
is.
some
You
point
already know
might
what
have
that
been the list. Yeah. I'm worried about Isaac Collins. I'm interested to see what he has, though. India has. I do like that they have numbers. Massey, Collins, India. I just need one of them to be good. Isbell. I just need like 1 to 2 of them to be pretty good. Like I need Cags to be great or really, really good. I need the other guys to be fine. And I've got 4 or 5 names in that listing of players to just be fine. Like you mentioned, India, like India, Massey, Lane Thomas, and Collins. I'm not, Gold. If they got 30 out of them, well, then they're winning the AL Central. I mean, it's like.
Well, I think they might. I mean, I think they might win the Central. You and I were talking about just the other day, and it feels like even nationally, everybody acknowledges that Tigers and Royals are very, very close to each other in the American League Central. Don't forget our opening day coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Park and Go, the best deal on airport parking. Here in about 10 minutes or so on Cody and Gold, we will talk a little bit about the latest reporting around Bill Self. As we mentioned during What's Trending, there seems to be more momentum, frankly, unfortunately, that he likely is going to step down. And so we'll get into that in just a bit. You mentioned in the What's Trending, the Big 12 coaches that were hired. Randy Bennett, longtime St. Mary's coach, now going to Arizona State. Calhoun goes back to his alma mater after having success at Utah State this year, immediately jumps to Cincy, who moved on from Wes Miller, who went to Charlotte. Now 3 coaches that have been hired in the Big 12. K-State gets Casey Alexander from Belmont, and then the 2 that we just mentioned. How do you think Kansas State did in comparison? Now, I think in fairness, Calhoun was never going to take the K-State job if he could go back to his alma mater at Cincy. So as much as you're like, how did they not get Calhoun? He went to Cincy. That's his alma mater. It's home for him.
That's why.
So that was always going to be a struggle. I guess the Randy Bennett one, this is another one. I actually don't think Kansas State, you could say they whiffed on missing out on one of these guys.
But you could make the argument they got the worst of the 3 coaches.
I think there's a chance on paper right now. Doesn't mean the end result will be that. But on paper, yes. But Randy Bennett was specific for Arizona State. He already lived in Arizona. He's 63 years old. This is kind of like a retirement gig for him, essentially. Like, this is probably his last stop. And I do think, given his success at St. Mary's, Arizona State's a very good hire for them, even if he's just stabilizing the program for 5 years or however long he wants to coach. But Casey Alexander, he's got less of a track record, I guess you could say, of
his
NCAA tournament side.
Weaker.
But Calhoun, Utah State, let's not act like this guy was at Utah State for 5 years and was consistently going to tournaments. He's still pretty new to that whole scenario as well. So I actually don't think it's this, oh my gosh, they got Casey Alexander and these other 2 schools got their guys. He's going to have to develop, and he's going to have to certainly prove people wrong that are skeptical of the hire. That's for sure.
So this is what's tough about it is I think they actually wanted Calhoun more. I think he was a good program fit. I think he's the type of coach they want. But for the reasons you mentioned, he was always going to choose Cincinnati. It is his alma mater. It is a Big 12 school, similar competitive values, similar, money to spend maybe, although K-State's been spending a lot of money in basketball. But, okay, fine, you lost out on him. I actually don't think Randy Bennett is the kind of coach they should have been targeting at K-State. I don't think they want a program stabilizer. I think they want a long-term program builder, and they want the kind of thing that's going to jumpstart them back in, similar to Randy Bennett to me is the same as hiring Tang. It's it's not because he's a long-term and he's successful, but it's like saying, well, I took a long-term guy, he's an assistant, maybe a little bit older. I like the hire they made more than Bennett, even if I think Bennett's a better coach. I know that sounds weird. Bennett is a more established, clearly has had more success coach. But the way that they went with K-State, I think I actually like the hire better going that direction than the other way around. But I do think that it's weird because you can make the argument of the 3 coaches that got hired in the Big 12, they got the least proven one. They got the worst one. And if you look at it from that way, it doesn't K-State look great, does it? Would you have hired any of those other guys if you'd gotten the choice? If any of them were on the table, I don't think Randy Bennett would have made sense anywhere else other than the Arizona thing. I agree.
I don't like that. That would have been weird. If he was hired out of St. Mary's and went to Manhattan, Kansas, that wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. Calhoun, obviously, I think, but as we said, that was maybe him and then what's his name at St. Louis were their top targets. But he's staying at St. Louis. He got a massive deal, and then Calhoun was going to his alma mater.
They both said no to the K-State. I think they both Josh Schertz.
But for logical reasons, you know?
Yeah. They said no to the K-State job. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's not like they just, I'm going back no matter what. I don't have an answer. It's I'm telling you no, and then I'm going back, or I'm telling you no. Also, I think the reported value of Cincy's NIL budget is $10 million next year. They're boosting it up to $10 million next year, which is on the precipice of KU type of spending.
They get the Kelseys to chip in. They get their $10 million.
That's a big increase. I wonder what it was for Wes Miller. He's probably saying, what the hell? What's going on?
Who's the most famous Cincinnati alum other than the Kelsey brothers?
I have no idea.
How do we get you on the Kansas one? On the Wikipedia page. Famous Kansas alum.
I win the lottery, and all of a sudden I'm worth $500 million and start donating a ton of money. That's about it. I can get my name on a building if I
know a
start
couple
doing
people
that.
who went to Cincinnati. They're not famous though or anything like that. They're just friends.
Sandy Koufax.
Are they
went to
giving a lot of money?
Cincinnati, Cody.
No.
Sandy Koufax, really?
That's what Wikipedia tells me. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what Wikipedia says.
On Cincinnati's website, they mentioned Oscar Robertson as well. But I'm talking about recent rich people,
Recent rich people?
Oscar Robertson's.
Urban Meyer also went to Cincinnati. Maybe he wants the football gig.
No, I think he'll pass.
You think so? I don't think anyone else is offering him a gig right now.
Scott Satterfield's doing an okay job there. They're all right.
There's some random names in the Cincinnati. Do you just the pilot of the B-29 plane that dropped the atom bomb over Hiroshima was a Cincinnati grad. That's just on the Wikipedia page. Okay, all right then. Good to know. Thank you.
Who's on UMKC's Wikipedia page as famous alum? Can I get on the list?
Lead guitarist and Harry Styles, his band.
Okay.
Mitch Rowland. Okay. That's another one on there.
It's a pretty popular.
Anyway. Let me know if you find another name that you like.
Since I was just looking for people who are chipping in to make this $10 million. It's always the same thing. Anytime we talk about this thing, I don't know if there's that many billionaires. There's more billionaires than you think for some of these universities. Or just, I don't know, in Ohio, and maybe we'll give Cincinnati some money.
All right, coming up next, let's talk about what could be happening in Lawrence maybe this week, the future of Bill Self, the latest reports there, plus the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties. They're all back over at Underdog. That's right. We've had hoops, lots of college hoops, both on the men's and women's sides. And your best place to get on the action is on the Missouri side because you can make entries and win money right now in Missouri at Underdog. Super easy. You just choose your favorite players to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get those entries right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I'll get you some more of my selections and entries coming up on later in the week as the games continue in action. But why not try something like Deal Reveal over at Underdog? Select a player out of 9 offered on which to have a discount applied. The discount amount is randomized and the value varies between uses. So you can make lots of different ways. They've got so many different entries and so many different ways to get in on the action at Underdog. Download the app, use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions and unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your servicemen from AB May.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
This baseball season, FanDuel's letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got a lot more exciting. Maybe you want to spotlight Vinny Pasquantino and you think he has a chance to hit a home run on opening day or lead the league in RBI. You can head over to FanDuel. So if you're ready, head over there to play your game. FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Our March special is a toilet tune-up, which includes a new fill valve, flapper seal, and supply pipe for only $199. Yep, $199 is a steal compared to when we started the company or when I started plumbing back in '95. We understand some sticker shock. I can assure you that we are competitive. We show up and do what we say we will. So call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up.
I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid to
Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. No, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Don't wait until extreme temps hit. Anthony makes home comfort easy. Right now, buy a new AC and get a furnace free when you book at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold. Rob Britton from The Drive was in studio talking about what we're about to discuss, which is the answer at some point this week everybody's expecting for what the future is going to hold for one Bill Self. We had Mike Vernon on earlier today from KU Hearings, and once again, it does not mean this is definitive, and he even acknowledged that, but this was from his newsletter last night. Quote, I'm hearing Bill Self is leaning toward retiring and not returning to Kansas next season, though a final decision has not been made. Things are early still, but people I trust would be surprised if Self is coaching the Jayhawks next season. It does feel like there's some momentum in that direction. The one thing universally whoever you talk to agrees on, we should know this week. A, is he coming back? Or B, is he retiring? What is sad about the scenario, and obviously, like you guys know, as a KU grad, Bill Self has been unbelievable for KU basketball, and for a majority of my KU fandom, he's been the coach. So on that level, it would be very crappy. What is also sad about it is if he decides to retire, if in fact that actually happens, it clearly is because of health, and that sucks.
Yep. And
that sucks.
And then he wanted a few more years, but unfortunately for him, the health scares got too real. And I understand this. People want to have a quality of life post coaching. Look, for some people, they'll coach till the end. They'll coach. They'll get as old as possible, and they'll do it. And for other people, it's like, nah, I want to have a life after basketball too. And if the health part is a scare, then I'm not doing myself or the university any help. I assume you are starting to lean towards you think Bill Self is retiring. It does feel like the energy is headed that way.
I still wouldn't.
But I'm still like 50-50 on it. Like I wouldn't just like pencil it in either.
If you gave me $100 and I had to make a bet, I still would not bet that he's retiring, but the odds have shifted versus when we had this very conversation a day ago. I mean, based off of Vernon's, reporting and some other people you talked to as well. But I don't think I still don't think it's a done deal. Like anybody claiming they know 100% what is happening, I don't believe that to be accurate at this point.
Because I think the only person who probably knows that is Bill Self and his wife.
Yep.
And I do think, and maybe the highest of high level person at the university level.
But KU should be preparing that. I mean, you got to be smart. It's still at the end of the day is a business, and things move quick in college athletics, and the transfer portal is a real thing, and all that. And that opens up at April 7th, I think. So if you're Goff, the AD at KU, you got to, and look, this is not completely out of nowhere. If you listen to how Bill Self talked a year ago, everybody knew that you were on the back end of the career even a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So every athletic director, and if you're as good as AD as Goff, I believe
You've always had your list in the top drawer.
You've got some plans in case something like this ultimately happens, and we still don't know if it will. But it's the realest it's ever been. That, I mean, you talk about in Kansas City area sports, Andy Reid and Bill Self, and go back to Gary Pinkel even. You think about some of these big-time coaches in the area, Ned Yost, and the influence they had on sports in the area. I mean, Bill Self is right there with everybody, and it would be a massive shift if, in fact, that news comes later this week that he actually is going to retire. And we're in a weird era of sports in this town right now, and I'll include Lawrence when I say this town.
I think K-State, Missouri, KU all count, and so do.
Because Andy Reid, he's on the back end of his career as well. We're not terribly far away. I hope it's not a year or two, but it could be 3 or 4 years at max, where we're talking about the same thing with him. Not for health reasons, hopefully,
I know,
but just retirement.
That's the thing that can always and this goes to the same thing as Brett Veach. You better always have at least a couple of names you're interested in, right? Like, have your list. Have it ready just in case. Hell, even consult guys like Andy Reid or other people around the NFL and be like, who do you like? Who do you think is smart? Because
look at K-State, Bill Snyder going back a little bit further. Some of these names, we're in a time where time flies, man. It's just kind of crazy. You think about the time that of championships that are won between some of these coaches, and we can expand to players. I mean, Travis Kelce, he's back for another year, but this might be it. I know we thought last year was it. It's kind of weird. I mean, it makes you almost feel kind of old too if you think about it. Of how the coaches come and go if in fact this is what's going to happen.
Look, it'll be interesting because it's a lot like the Chiefs in the sense, and these are all different. Like people say, why spend more time on this coaching job versus that coaching job versus Missouri versus Kansas? Look, the reality is, and the same as the Chiefs, is that when Andy Reid is not the coach anymore, whoever is the next coach for Patrick Mahomes is a massive nationwide conversation. The job at Kansas is like that in college basketball. It's one of the 5 biggest jobs in the sport. And so, like, getting it right, similar to like the Hubert Davis thing there in North Carolina, it's a big deal. When John Shire, we talked about John Shire on this show. Like, is it a good idea to have a succession plan in place for Duke? The same as, like, I'd have real reservations if they hired Jacques Vaughn at Kansas. Like, you brought this guy in for a year, and I understand he coached in the NBA and he played for you. Are you sure you can get a more established coach? One who's been in the college basketball game.
I would not have him at the top of my list if that's what you're asking.
Someone who's been at a high-level program. And look, they couldn't have imagined probably even at the time they hired him that it was going to go as well as it did with Bill Self, right? Like when they plucked him off at Illinois.
I mean, he raised the bar to a whole nother level, and obviously Roy was incredible. But what Bill Self has done in his time is not something anybody could have fathomed.
Yeah.
It's insane, honestly.
And so this goes back to the filling in those shoes. Nightmare. That's the toughest part about like recruiting for the job. You have to follow Bill Self. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
that is not a fun or envious position to be in. But it's also Kansas.
Yeah.
So like, most people don't turn that job down.
I'll admit, like, if in fact he retires, it's a bit scary because they've gone from Larry Brown to Roy to Bill Self, home run, home run, home run.
They also don't miss tournaments ever.
36 or whatever it is now in a row. But like, that's the scary part, and I'm sure K-State fans felt the same way when certainly they experienced it because Bill Snyder left the first time, and you guys know how that went, and he came back, thank goodness. But you go from Bill Snyder to Ron Prince for crying out loud. So, yeah, there's always the worry that the next guy is going to be a disaster. So we'll I mean, as big as the football stadium project has been for Goff at Kansas and with Lance Leipold and everything, if, in fact, Bill Self steps away, this will be as big of a decision as he's ever made.
I will say there's always like a couple of names that always surprise me that people bring up. Somebody on the text line earlier mentioned Danny Manning. I'm like, what?
Yes, 7 years ago.
And even then it was a long shot. He was like coaching it like, much smaller. Yeah, like he was going to have to like do real things at Wake Forest for that to fit.
No,
Somebody earlier on YouTube mentioned Brett Ballard, the head coach at men's basketball at Washburn.
He's doing a hell of a job, by the way, but you don't go from Washburn to Kansas. Hell, Ben McCollum went from Northwest Missouri State to Drake, just now to Iowa, and now maybe is getting like, no.
Somebody says, don't forget that's Bill Snyder that has Cody blocked.
That's
Jake
true.
said over on
That is
Twitch.
true.
I didn't do anything.
To get blocked by Bill Snyder.
He's writing people handwritten cards, and instead I'm getting blocked on Twitter.
That's pretty bad. That's
not cold, Bill.
It's not somebody you want to be blocked by. That says a lot.
That's cool. What?
That's not
says
good.
a lot about me.
I wouldn't want to be blocked by Bill Snyder.
Drew, do you think that people should make a personal judgment about me knowing that I'm blocked by Bill Snyder on Twitter?
That's tough. He's a legend.
I don't.
Does it say something negative about me?
I think K-State fans would automatically assume something bad about you.
Yeah, like what did you say?
Yeah, I think Kansas State fans would automatically assume something. Other people would just get a question like, "How in the heck did this happen?" And then after you explain,
got confused by computer.
I was going to say
that's what happened.
After you explain the story, if that actually is the case, then you're good. But I think it would take. It would take some splaining to do, I think, for K-State fans.
The very short stories we've explained on the show is, I sent out a tweet joking about a college kicker doing a bad job kicking. Bill Snyder then retweeted that. I think my presumption is Bill Snyder got confused about how to unretweet something and instead blocked me, hoping it would make it go away. If you go to his account as of, I don't know, the last time we looked, 4 months ago, it's still on his page that he retweeted it.
Okay.
It is when you guys bring up the potential future coaches. Rob and I are actually kind of lockstep in this. I asked him because you guys think Ben McCollum would be a guy that they would call.
They would call. Tommy Lloyd is number one on my list.
Rob and I think
I don't know why you wouldn't call Ben McCollum.
Rob says they shouldn't call Ben McCollum, and his season ticket price is actually might not be a season ticket holder. He would think
because he thinks the style of play.
The style
it would be ugly.
They also Ben McCollum is a spectacular coach with his style of play. I don't know if he gets the best player in the country to go there. In a way, similar to how Kelvin Sampson said, we didn't recruit Darren Peterson. We didn't recruit DeBonsa. They're not our type of player. I think that actually would be the same sort of message, recruiting-wise, for a Ben McCollum style team.
It's not an exciting.
I don't think you're getting the best player in the country with Ben McCollum.
Not an exciting style play. Look, he's not top of the list, but if in fact the job opened up, he's on the list, if that makes sense. Like there's the obvious names first and foremost. Tommy Lloyd, make him say no.
Dusty May. Those are the two guys.
I think to me, I know Nate Oates has some baggage. He's on the list. I'm not saying he's at the top of the list, but he's on the list. Hell, I'd make Dan Hurley say no. I don't know if he's a fit at KU, quite honestly. His whole personality.
Dan Hurley, they absolutely should call.
His personality, I don't know if it's a great
fit.
He's
had way too much success, though.
But you have to argue. You got to make him say no. You got to make him say no.
Now I got somebody on the text line mentioning Kim English. He got fired by Providence.
Don't.
Look, Kim deserves another opportunity somewhere at some point in time. He's young enough. I think he'll be fine, but he's not going from getting fired at Providence to getting offered the KU job. Come on now. By the way, don't forget, baseball is back. Opening night is live on Netflix tomorrow. That's March 25th. Aaron Judge and the Yankees clash with Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. MLB opening night, Yankees, Giants, live on Netflix tomorrow. That is at 7 Central, 4 Pacific.
I want to remind you guys also that we will be out at Rally House on Friday. So if you are looking to get geared up for the game, we'll have 4 $100 Rally House gift cards to give away to 4 lucky customers who stop by. Plus, I am told, Steven Spector, the boss, El Jefe, he says, dude, he says
the next time you see him, you have to call him that.
He says we'll have
call him that.
All right. Tickets to the home opener to give away.
Ooh,
Courtesy
opening day?
96.5 The Fan.
Let's go.
So if you want a chance at opening day tickets or 4 $100 Rally House gift cards, come see us at Rally House in Independence coming up on Friday.
How about that? Well, we're asking if we were going to have opening day tickets, so that's exciting. That is very exciting.
Should be a good time, man. We're going to be out there. Rally House is a great spot to stop by, too.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew, on the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We live stream the show every single day. You're welcome to join us over there as well. That's where, somebody had mentioned Bill Snyder having me blocked. So try to interact with you over there as well. Somebody said Terry Bradshaw hates you. Bill Snyder has you blocked.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, Cody?
Huh.
What's going on with you? Both those things are true. He did make fun of me, and Bill Snyder does have me blocked. I can't deny either of those things.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
What? That was me.
Because the sissy guy hadn't said a word yet.
Mm-hmm. It's true. All those things are true. The random question I have for you and 913-586-7965 on the text line today is, I want to know who's purchasing this. I'm going to find out if it's one of the two of you or somebody on the text line. Which one of you has convinced these companies that we need protein in things that do not require extra protein? Grocery store yesterday, and they've got Doritos with protein, or your new Propel with new protein. I don't need protein added to everything. So who amongst you is purchasing all of these additional extra protein items? And I guess, is that something that you desire as a person? Because I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Are these like the naked Doritos or naked Cheetos that have more protein, or is it?
It just says.
Are they separate?
It might be.
Because I bought the naked hot Cheetos before. They're actually really good.
So I don't know anything about
I don't know anything about those.
Those are the Dorito protein. In general, again, you're asking this question at a weird time because 4 months ago I would have said, yeah, whatever. But right now, I'm doing the extra protein stuff.
Like, so the things that just say with extra protein,
no,
you're purchasing those?
I'm doing the protein shakes now and stuff like that the last couple months.
No, but this is like items that already exist with additional protein. That's what I'm saying. You want to drink a protein shake? No complaints.
Yeah.
Do I need protein in my Doritos?
Well, you shouldn't be. I don't eat the Doritos
Then just
anyway,
don't eat Doritos, I guess would be my argument. You want protein? You want to eat some extra chicken?
Because there's times
there's
times where I'll have grilled chicken that day, but you're still coming up short on the protein, so I need an extra 28 grams or whatever. So I do a protein shake later in the night.
Yeah, you're not going to Doritos for
not going to go. I'm not going to eat a bag of Doritos just to get protein. That seems that does seem crazy.
I think it's to make the people who are addicted to those snacks feel better about themselves. Is what that is. I know the naked ones are the minus the red 40.
There you
no
go.
dye.
There you
yes,
go.
yes. There's no dyes. They're actually pretty good still. But yeah, those are the no dyes.
Well, I don't think the
know
red
if these
40
are,
was adding that much flavor to it. I think that was just.
I don't know if these are different than those.
It'd feel weird if you're like, I'm going to go buy some Doritos to get my protein intake.
I've seen it in cookies, Doritos. I'm like, what are you doing? If I'm eating a cookie, I've just accepted that I'm going to eat a cookie. I don't want protein.
I think is it Larry's cookie? There is a cookie that actually has more protein that actually is a healthier quote unquote cookie.
But I'm talking about like an Oreo. Starbucks has drinks that are like now with more protein.
There's
Also ice
why
cream. Are you
with,
adding this to this?
There's also ice cream with more protein with Halo Top. I just bought some Halo Top the
That's
other day.
been around for
with the protein.
There's an increased amount of protein, but it's still like they have chocolate, cookies and cream, mint.
I want to know
peanut butter.
Who amongst you is purchasing this? That's what I want to know. 913-586-7965.
I purchased the Halo Top.
Did you purchase it because it had the protein in it?
Yes.
Oh man, so Drew's a part of the problem.
No, I know.
He's one step away from Doritos and protein.
I
buying ice cream.
Yeah, but I think if you're gonna go for chips, you might as well go for the ones with more protein. In fairness, if they're healthier, but which is where the ice cream comes in. Like there's less calories, more protein. It's a quote unquote healthier option than your regular ice cream. Like that I'm fine with. I don't need to eat extra chips, or if I do get chips, I'll have like avocado oil chips or something like that if I wanted to eat healthier.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for like snack chips, but I just been doing protein like granola bars or protein bars and like protein shake stuff.
To me, that's a tale as old as time, right? That's not like that's common. People who are like working out more, like the macros and like like I'm gonna eat this amount of protein. It's the foods they're arbitrarily just jamming it into that I'm taking offense to.
If you know,
I don't feel a need, like if I'm eating junk food, well, then I've decided on junk food. Please do not just put an extra protein in my Doritos.
If it tasted the same though, would you be more would you be more likely because it has the protein? Actually,
they slapped the words protein in front of the Pringles I'm getting ready to purchase. Less likely to purchase.
The boss has chimed in. Steven Spector 10 on Twitter. He has a screenshot. He's watching the show on TV. He's at home today with a sick kid, I think. And he said, "Did you just call me El Jefe?" And it's our video stream. He definitely did. Like that came out of nowhere.
Hey, Spec, here it is again.
The boss, El Jefe.
Like, where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Yeah, that was out of left field.
Why? That's not uncommon in a workplace. Or does it feel too informal? Would he prefer not?
It just is so random. I don't know if anybody's ever called him El Jefe in his life.
You could have called him the big wig.
Yeah.
The just leave it at the boss, but you said El Jefe.
I feel good about it.
The man in charge even, but El Jefe.
I will say, it did flow right off the tongue. It's as if you're used to saying it.
The boss, El Jefe. I don't think I've ever called any boss I've ever had El Jefe. No good?
All right. Okay. All right, El Jefe. That's the random question of the day, by the way, here on...
if you guys go out to Rally House, you have to call Cody El Jefe. Don't even say, hey, Cody. Say El Jefe.
We also learned during random question, I'm with you on the Doritos and stuff. It'd be weird. Cody, very much anti-protein. Very angry about protein.
Anti just being forced into foods it doesn't belong in.
Yeah.
Well, it's already in there, technically.
There are some foods, it is harder than you realize to get to your protein intake level. Now, I'm with you. I'm not going to go buy Doritos to get to it.
Yes.
But it is difficult to get to your protein. So people do the shakes and the protein bars and whatever else.
Logical. Makes sense.
I'm surprised, though, that if they tasted the same, you still would say no to the extra protein.
Somebody on the text line said it's like, with the high school kids, it's really popular, like in coffee drinks or these other stuff. Again, I think some of it, Drew, is like trying to pretend like you're offering me this protein as a favor in an Oreo. You're not offering me anything. It's still an Oreo.
I agree with you.
Have I accomplished the goal by eating the protein? If you're just sticking it in, like a Laffy Taffy now with protein. Well, I just ate a giant Laffy Taffy. I don't think it did me any favors. That you've put 8 grams of protein in it.
My Laffy Taffy had more protein than your whatever. Yeah, than your if they're just stuffing protein into snacks. Then
someone says the Wi-Fi's all of them. Someone says they saw protein Pop-Tarts. Like if I'm eating a Pop-Tart, Gold, if you're eating a Pop-Tart for breakfast, even if you're like, I'm having a hard time getting the protein level, just eat a protein bar. You're not doing yourself any favor eating the brown sugar coated
I'm with you.
Pop-Tart with extra protein in it.
Just go with the shake instead. Just go with the chocolate flavored protein shake in the morning or whatever.
Someone texted in that Spec used to be called Triple H by another radio host.
I have no idea the context.
I don't either. That's what I didn't know if you guys did.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the
wasn't the
context. I don't know if that was the morning show back in the day or what, when he was a producer for the morning show. Maybe it's a throwback to that. I don't know. That is the random question of the day. Up next, let's get into the Royals a bit more, including how concerned are you about the Royals closer heading into opening day, and whether or not the flag football that took place over the weekend changes your feeling about the U.S. in the Olympics in 28.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, we finally made it. It's spring, and I have spring fever. I love getting outside and cooking on the flat top or the grill, and Hy-Vee has the best meat department in KC. They've got the freshest, top-quality cuts of corn-fed beef from the Midwest and the best prices in town. They also have bacon-wrapped chicken breast and stuffed pork chops, plus the fresh seafood we love at home. Make it a meal with a twice-baked potato. It's the best meat department in town. They've got the steaks, they've got the chicken, they've got the seafood, and you can get it only at Hy-Vee.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March, and Kansas City is crazy about college hoops. Pick your bracket, call your friends, and count on Hy-Vee for all your game day snacks. Hy-Vee makes your watch party easy with a huge selection of ready-to-serve party trays, boneless wings, barbecue, sushi, pizza, and fresh bakery goods. Order ahead through the Hy-Vee app, online, or at your favorite store. Even if your bracket is a bust, your watch party will be a winner only at Hy-Vee.
Calling all college hoops fans. Make your next bet during March matchups at BetMGM go even further with an odds boost token. Simply add any tournament bet to your bet slip and activate your odds boost token. If that bet hits, you'll walk away with a higher payout for a tournament full of unforgettable moments. BetMGM is your sports book for all of it. Enjoy same-game parlays, live betting through all your favorite games, dark mode, and so much more during March matchups. And when there's a break in the tournament action, or you're looking to switch things up, check out daily promotions and offers for all your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance at a bigger March matchup score with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. Turn to Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. With temperatures rising, now's the time to make sure your AC is ready to keep you cool. Whether it's your home or your business, Comfort Systems services both residential and commercial systems across the Kansas City area. Call today for a fast tune-up, repair, or a system upgrade so you can stay cool all summer long. Family owned and operated since 1990, comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
Rally House, shop every team in town. College and pro, come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State, Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House, Rally House. It's your city, it's your house, it's the Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299.
816-412-6299.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel
great.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking. Only $59.99 guaranteed or your money back. Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City. Lose weight hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
He got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13 and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high. Rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. If your retirement is mostly stocks and bonds, you may be taking a risk, more risk than you think. And when you're near retirement, a sharp drawdown at the wrong time can do real damage. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all Americans' smart money uses to hedge against instability. Its precious metals, silver, and gold is having a spectacular bull run. Would it not make sense to get in before the rocket takes off? Monetary Gold have been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. They have the experience to help tailor your portfolio to your needs. If you call now, they will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. That's 877-NOW-GOLD.
Play ball! Cody and Gold will be live outside Gate T starting at 10 for the Royals home opener on Monday, March 30th, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. You guys can hit us up on the J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. We had the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, JJ Picollo, join us earlier today. If you missed that conversation, that's coming up again at 10:30. And one of the things we asked him about, Cody, was Carlos Estevez. And they've maintained where they're at, which is they've acknowledged the fact is the velocity is down. There's no denying it. You can't. The numbers are right there.
Yeah.
Carlos is not
89.
throwing at the level that you want to see from your closer. And even someone that's not a big strikeout guy to begin with, it is concerning. But they're just banking on, like, last year, it was kind of like this, and he ramped it up. I mean, that's where we're at. And so at this point, let's hope that that is correct. His max four-seam velocity was 91 miles an hour yesterday. Now, 3 strikeouts, had a walk, hit by a pitch yesterday, but he was basically pitching 88 to 90. And so if we get to, I won't even say the first day, Friday night if he pitches, but if we get to 2 weeks into the season and his velocity isn't back up 4 miles an hour or whatever like it did last year, then it's a massive problem for them.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Panic is too strong. He had no velocity at the beginning of last year. He is like really super casual about like, that's just my body. You know, I can't help it. Like my velocity comes up slow and I expect it. It's like a normal, typical thing for me. So, you know, please don't think anything else outside of it. But at the same time, Gold, it is, and there should be concern over the fact that one of those times it won't, though. You know that that's how the human body works, right? Is that eventually people don't have velocity and it doesn't come back the same way, Gold, as you were accustomed to in all the other previous iterations of your MLB career? And so, like, I think you absolutely have to pay some attention to the fact that what happens if his velocity is at 91, 92? He's not going to be as effective. And for a bullpen that had a hard time getting strikeouts, if he's throwing 89 or 90, well, then he can't be the closer anymore. And if you don't want Ursack to be the closer and you want him in the fireman role, or you want Strahm in like it's Strahm and Ursack. It's like one of them is likely to be the show up at any time fireman. They both have done that role for their respective teams. And so are you moving one of them to the closer role? Or is this bring back into the conversation of Avila? Because what I think the Royals have to do is, fine, give Estevez the chance to get his velocity back up, make things normal. He got 3 strikeouts last night, even throwing 88, 89 miles an hour. It is spring training, however. But if he struggles, I want to know your closer succession plan immediately. Great. He led all of baseball in saves last year. Jonathan Broxton did that for the American League one year for the Royals, and the next year he stunk. I'm not saying Estevez will, but you got to have a backup plan where he's pitching in like the 7th or 8th inning and you're covering your ass a little bit so you don't lose baseball games while he's trying to figure out how to get to 92, 93 again.
It's truly a waiting game now, though. I mean, everybody's acknowledged, like, basically, we kind of just, like, he's our closer going into the season, and we're going to see where he's at. Or does Matt Quatrero, Friday night, it's opening night, knowing that his velocity's not up, do they treat it any different without declaring, quote-unquote, who the closer is? I don't know. I know last year, I remember the conversation, it was 10 days into the season, and Carlos was struggling a little bit, and it didn't look great. And then fast forward to July, and he's an all-star, and he's got 42 saves. So that's why I'm not full-blown panic, but it is definitely one watching closely, and it sounds like the Royals are as well. And if we're 2 weeks into this thing and it hasn't ticked back up, then we've got to start talking about who's next and what do they do, and will there be any defined roles anymore? Will it just be we're going to go with who's looking good, who's feeling good at that particular who particularly could fill in that spot? Someone says, why are we not doing the velocity ramp up earlier? This has been Carlos's thing, and that's why they haven't panicked too much.
They usually let players handle their own routine. And look, you heard JJ. This goes back to like how closely you look at numbers and you see these things. But like if you're an individual team, you're not looking at every single player's velocity going into opening day when you're scouting players. That'd be too much information. You can't possibly scout in that capacity. JJ openly admitted at the beginning of last year, they're like, uh-oh. Like, they were genuinely scared. Like, that's too slow. And Carlos is like, no. I'm always a slow starter. It's fine. And, like, it was fine last year because obviously he led all of – and this is why I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Last year, his velocity was down at the beginning of the year. He also led all of baseball in saves. So, like, it's not fair for me, Gold, to just be like, I'm more worried than not. But it also doesn't mean that we can just ignore it and not pay any attention to it. What would your backup plan be? If let's just say Carlos Estevez needed to take 2 weeks off of being a closer.
I think it's not a defined it's not a defined role though. I wouldn't just say Ursack state that he's the closer. I think it's
matchups.
It's matchup
Numbers.
based, and they'll play that game, which is typically what Q does out of the bullpen anyway, unless it's the 9th inning. And so it's the high leverage spots. The issue with Ursack is he has not had the same strikeout potential that he had 2 years ago.
No, he doesn't. And, like, that's been the entire bullpen's issue.
Matt Strahm, I know, is not typically a closer, but, you know, he would be somebody that would probably get some opportunities as well.
I think, yeah, but he
What's
likes...
What's your confidence, though, that it does get fixed? The only part that gives me some hope, other than, hey, history, last year he ramped it up and it was fine, Carlos did, but even, I think J.J. Picollo acknowledged they didn't get as many, Carlos didn't get as many out opportunities or outs as they would have thought in the WBC. So did he not pitch as much as they would have liked? And so on one hand, that's a bad thing. On the other hand, is that also why he hasn't ramped up yet?
Again, those first, let's say on Friday night against Atlanta, it's 3-2, Royals lead, going into the top of the 9th inning, I guess, because they'll be on the road. Top of the 9th inning, I'm going to be nervous about those 3 outs.
Yeah, there's a good chance that for his first outing, he's not just throwing 94 again.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So I do think that they're going to have to, use and plan their bullpen in a way that if it looks like he's not getting outs, that rather than lose the game, they can still eject and try to get some outs. As in, maybe in that first game, you don't use Strahm and Ursack on the same nights, right? In the sense that maybe the other guy could be behind Carlos Estevez if for some reason you needed to do that. And you cover that earlier inning with a guy like Schreiber and somebody who has pitched in the 7th inning for you. And you figure out a way to find that delicate balance. And look, that's something that way above our pay grade as far as strategy goes. But if there's any kind of concern with it, maybe just give yourself a little extra protection early.
In about 20, 25 minutes, you'll hear what J.J. Picollo had to say about Carlos and also just what we saw in the WBC and now what we can expect with the Friday night game. It sounded like J.J. Picollo and the Royals aren't too fond of playing Friday night instead of a traditional opening day.
Don't forget the Royals start on Friday night, but baseball is back. Opening night is live on Netflix tomorrow, March 25th. Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees will clash against Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. MLB opening night, Yankees-Giants, live on Netflix, 7 Central, 4 Pacific.
One of the events that took place over the weekend that was mixed in while everybody was locked into college basketball was this Fanatics Flag Football Classic. So it was 5-on-5 flag football. It had current and former NFL players against the U.S. men's national flag football team. This was
worked over the NFL players.
Right, and Tom Brady was playing. Gronk was playing, got hurt in the first quarter or whatever, but Gronk was playing, and Beckham, Burrow, et cetera, Stephon Diggs were all part of this, and the U.S. national team, owned the NFL grouping of players. And we know in 2028 at the Olympics, flag football is going to be a sport, and there's a lot of discussion, and the NFL wants to be part of it, and NFL players believe they should be the ones to represent. Of course, those on the national team already are saying, wait a second, you could just jump the line? And did the performance, and I didn't watch, admittedly, did that performance make you think maybe there is something to the fact that the NFL players wouldn't be the best at flag football? Or is this just that, hey, give them some time, it's also Tom Brady and retired players out there? What if it was Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels? Or the reason why I don't mention Patrick Mahomes is because by the time we get to the Olympics, I don't think they're going to have 33-year-old Patrick Mahomes playing in the Olympics. But I could be wrong.
As cool as I think it would be. Look, in fairness, they got worked over, right? I mean, it was a proper ass kicking a couple times. And the guy who we openly mocked on the show, Daryl Doucette, played well, right? Like he played well in these games against the NFL players. He went 7 for 7 for 63 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? Like,
is flag football fun to watch?
Medium.
I mean, nobody watches the Pro Bowl, so I mean, maybe because it's
but
the
if
Olympics.
a gold medal was on the line, would we?
If a gold medal was on the line, you'd care.
Okay.
Because there is some, I will say there's some, mixtape energy to it. Because this is what's made Doucette good at it, is that he is very good at evading his flag being ripped away from the opponent. So, he did a lot of that in the game, and he was able to, make some of these people miss. But I'm just telling you right now, if Lamar Jackson was back there and had to make someone not pull his flag, I think he'd be able to do it. Some of this it was a weird mix of, a Paul brother was on the field, and retired players were on the field. And while it was 5-on-5 and the right thing, I just think the effort level you're getting out of the NFL players in this versus what you're getting in the flag players and the training that they have, I'm just having a hard time putting much stock in the fact that just because the flag football team technically won this matchup, that matters. I still don't disagree with Drew. If they wanted to do a game where they practiced and the NFL players put together a team and the U.S. flag men's team put together a team, and they played for the right to represent the country,
that'd be fun.
I'm all in
Put
the
that
effort.
on TV, primetime Saturday night.
Hey, you earn your right. I got nothing against them having a chance to beat the NFL players. I still think Daryl Doucette trying to guard Justin Jefferson won't go well.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I'm convinced if you gave the NFL players a little bit of time to practice and ramp up,
they
would get this thing figured out and they would end up being better. I just think the injury part of it is interesting too. Yes, there are going to be athletes that want to do things in the offseason, but playing flag football, the Olympics should be the exception, not these exhibition games. But the Olympics, if there's a player that wants to play in it, sure. I would be terrified as a Chiefs fan if Patrick Mahomes was playing in the Olympics, though, and flag football.
I'd be scared, but we've been doing it in basketball for so long.
That at least it's the Olympics. I'm willing to let him risk it for that, not hey, I'm going to collect a $100,000 check from Fanatics to go play in it.
Yeah, that was my argument when we were talking about it earlier. It's I got no problem if any player, I'll be afraid, and I get it, but it is the Olympics. It's a chance for a gold medal.
Do they do a cadence? Do they do much of a cadence in flag football? I don't know.
Snap it.
Yeah.
What was your guys' rule for rushing the quarterback when you guys were playing
whatever Mississippi, whatever?
Yeah, Mississippi.
Yeah.
You get 3 Mississippi, and then you can rush the quarterback.
3 Mississippi. You're not allowed to. Unless they rush you, you can't just run. That kind of stuff.
Unless they. That was always. That was
if you come after me, then I'm going to run.
allowed to. Move around you. You gotta.
Flag football is getting a lot more popular too. So much so they're now offering scholarships at
really.
college.
Man, see, the Olympics should help with that too.
For the women's side, especially, like they're getting scholarship stuff going.
Are your nephews
multiple
gonna
programs?
Would you let your kids play tackle football?
Would
At what age?
If I had my own kids, they would not be playing tackle football.
Ever?
No.
Yeah. See, interesting.
Yeah.
As someone who loves football, I'm a little surprised. You're like, but I also see how violent the game is.
My kids wouldn't play tackle football. No.
Not until they were at least, I think, in like high school. Like if my kid started showing interest and really wanted to play football, I would let him play flag football now, right? And if it got to high school and they were still interested, I probably I would let them play tackle football then. But not until high school. Like I don't know why, but like something about like, I think about like the kids my kids' age, like fourth grade, it's like I don't need them slamming helmets up against each other playing tackle football. They can figure that stuff out later. I don't think we need that amount of contact in a sport just yet. So we'll see. But yeah, I didn't know. Just no tackle
One
football.
of my nephews played flag football for a year or two.
Didn't like it?
He's all in on basketball. All in on hoops.
He's training?
Yeah, my oldest nephew is.
Did you tell him whether or not he's going to be able to dunk when he's older? Like the way
He
my
does
kids
hope
asked?
he does hope he gets my height, not hopefully taller than his dad. Sorry.
Are your sisters tall?
Not short.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
gender's dependent. Like, how
Yeah.
tall is your twin sister?
I don't know their exact height.
Ballpark.
She's gonna be upset when I butcher this. I don't know. 5'4"? I don't know. Yeah.
It's gonna be 5'7".
I honestly
You're
don't.
gonna
I
get
honestly
killed
don't.
for
No,
this.
she's not 5'7". No.
Okay.
I don't know. But no, Daniel, he's hoping that he gets my height. That's for sure.
Well, we'll see.
You just got to give him the right training, Cody.
You ever dunk?
He'll be able to dunk if he's.
I've
6
dunked
foot.
once in my life, but that's it. Never
I dunked a
happening
tennis
again.
ball once when I was
Never
a
happening again.
teenager.
You've seen the vertical. It's terrible.
It's not good for either of us. Our basketball video from a couple
Not
years
good.
ago, we're never gonna.
You just got to get him in the right training, Cody. He'll be able to dunk even if he's like only 6 feet tall.
But I mean,
I've dunked a basketball.
odds are he's not going to be 6 feet tall.
Yeah, really?
I mean, well, I'm not 6 feet tall.
Well,
my
your
wife
mom-
is
yeah,
like
your
5
wife, yeah.
foot tall.
Yeah, the genes don't look great for your son to get that.
Odds are he's
tall.
not going to be 6 feet tall.
Anybody
You gotta
else in
do
the
it-
family? Like is there any?
There's some height. It's just a bit. We're all over the place.
Like does your
Nobody is
does your wife have a brother or anything?
No, just
okay.
one sister who's shorter than her.
Oh, never mind. Because I didn't know if she had a brother that was tall. 'Cause that's the same
no,
scenario.
She has, she had an uncle who was like 6'4". Like there's some height here or there, but it's all just like mixed.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows? It's really like a crapshoot. And I pointed this out. Like when I was like 6th or 7th grade, I was like taller then, right? Like I felt like a big kid when I was like I was taller, and I was like, we played basketball. I'd be like, and then I just after 8th grade, I was pretty much this height that I am now in 8th grade, and then just never grew another inch again. And Alex was probably like 3 inches shorter than me in 8th grade, and then kept growing eventually as he got older. You never know. It's a crapshoot. He probably won't know how gets to be 17 or 18, then maybe he'll have some guess. Who the hell knows?
If anything, to show him the Dominique Daniels tapes, and you can still be a great basketball player without dunking.
Someone's asking if I can dunk. No, I can't dunk right now. Absolutely not.
You do like
Absolutely
Jason
not.
Kelsey and see if you can. He said he's
Yeah,
been
there's no
trying to train.
chance.
Does he have credit card hops? This is what they said.
No chance. No chance.
Could you train and dunk?
Like, what do you mean?
That you forget whatever
Yes.
you've been doing
Yes.
to get healthier. Forget all that, and instead
I've
your
been,
goal
yeah,
should
I've
be
been
for the
going to
next
the
1
gym.
year.
My goal's not been to try. I'm not going to
No.
the gym so I can dunk.
I'm saying all of whatever you've been training to do for gym. Just get healthier, eat this. Your new training is for the next year. Can we get gold to dunk?
Yes.
Probably if that's all I focused on while I was at the gym.
I'm saying that's what you should do.
Then, well, no, I
Give
don't.
up on whatever you've been doing.
No,
learn to dunk.
I got a good plan going right now. I'm not switching it up. Got a good plan going.
Got to get that explosion training going. The wind sprints.
It's not, I mean,
You're not having a full size experience.
That's right.
I didn't quite have a full size dunking experience, but
No.
I've dunked a basketball, but full size regulation ball before, so I've got the experience before.
important to put the regulation basketball part of it because it needs to be round and under 42 inches in diameter.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the advice.
I forgot about
I mean,
that one.
That is 5 inches difference.
Yeah, it matters. It does.
A basketball is actually sub 42 inches in diameter and round. I had a few inches to spare.
Yeah, we do know that.
I still can't believe, Drew, you're okay with Joe Burrow playing in flag football. I'd hate it. You don't have to
fans. I think
you don't
fans
have to like hate
it.
your guy like he didn't get hurt, but like just as a fan, I'd hate it.
I think fans like it until their guy gets hurt.
If he got hurt, I would be like, dang, that sucks. I don't. There's nothing you can do about it.
I know, but like, would you be disappointed in him for choosing to play in this Fanatics game if he got injured?
I mean, I would be disappointed in the fact that he couldn't play the season. I think more than I would that he decided to play in the game. I guess it doesn't matter the circumstance, I suppose, but. I don't mind that he's playing. I didn't watch. I saw highlights. Is all that I saw, and he was giving. It looked like he was giving
pretty good effort.
He was giving good effort. I would say.
He's a competitive dude. I imagine like Tom Brady made a nice pass.
Tom was looking pretty good. Yeah. Tom. I think I saw him tweet. It makes you think or something like that. ... After he quote tweeted one of the clips.
913-586-7965. The text line. A couple texts coming in. One says, "Come on, Cody, you're a Tonka grad. Tackle football was great for 4th through 8th grade."
Again, we just played in the backyard, full tackle football, no pads as a kid.
Someone else says, "Gold, met you last Thursday at the bar. I can teach you how to dunk. I was the guy that's about the same height as you, but a little bit fatter, LOL. I still can dunk a girl's ball. It's all in the jump." People offering to train to dunk a basketball. That's not on the list right now. It's not on the list, but sounds like you want me to try.
Yeah. I want that to be a new part of your training, vertical training.
I mean, that fits. I mean, you try to get lower body strength as well,
Yeah, to dunk. You're tall enough. I can't, there's no amount of training I can do now. I'll never dunk, right? That's it.
Probably right.
There's
that's probably true.
Come on. That's never going to happen.
That's probably true.
That's never going to happen. It's fine. Whatever. Yeah. That's never going to happen. I had a better chance of getting UMKC's job than I do of dunking.
Wow.
In the rest of my life.
I'm not so sure about that.
You're giving yourself that little of a shot?
Yes. Drew, come on. Come on. There's no amount of training to get me to dunk at 41 years old. At 18, 19, maybe.
If only you had the same attitude with the hot dog race and realized it's just not happening as well. You just realize it's not happening.
I'm in active talks.
Still do the same
I'm in
training?
active talks to run at UMKC night for the hot dog race.
I'm sure you are.
Active talks.
You've actually got
I have spoken to members of the staff about doing it, yes. Not sure it's going to happen 100% yet, but
I think if they're for some good entertainment and the potential to, I think a more eyeballs locked into that race than any of the other hot dog races before, then knowing your history, I feel like they should have you on one more time.
Yeah, I agree.
Would this be the last one though? Like even if you didn't win,
Cody refuses to retire. I think you should do what I did. You win one and you're out. I'm undefeated.
If I win, I'll retire. Until I win, I will race. I am 0 for 4. I don't know how many I'm going to have to get to before I don't win, but I'm going to keep trying.
Drew should run in it, and it guarantee that you're not going to win as well.
Were we in one together?
All three of us.
I can't. Sorry, I
that
can't.
That was the one that I won. Was all three of us.
You almost fell into the dugout, Cody. I believe, if I remember correctly, you were
couldn't see. No, you couldn't see. Who couldn't see?
I was getting choked out by the costume. I think Cody almost. I think you almost ran into the dugout.
I might have.
You said you couldn't see out of the.
Yeah, it was sitting particularly high. The straps on that one, but that's not an excuse. I lost fair and square in that one. But I still think my best chance to win was the very first one. That was the one where I was closing and I felt good about it. And then, I genuinely almost stopped because I thought I caught wind. I thought I was definitely running into the dugout then and slowed up. And I was like, that was my only chance. If I had just, risked it all, maybe I give myself some hope.
You would have been on SportsCenter.
The last
you would
time
have been on SportsCenter if you would have flipped. If you would have flipped through.
The last time I raced, when I raced against Matt Biesler,
well, yeah, you were never winning that. You were never winning that.
That didn't matter.
But how do you know on UMKC night they might have some your chances of winning
some
that?
College kid.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know.
They're not going to have you and Mark Turgeon out there racing, okay?
He might beat me too.
He would beat you. I'd put money on him. I put money on Mark Turgeon.
Mark Turgeon might beat me.
Yeah,
that might not be a good matchup for me. I need somebody worse than that. All I'm saying is I'm not giving up.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. I have no doubt. That you're going to try again.
Yeah, it's just not, I'm never giving up on that dream. Not until I'm a champion, And it doesn't really, I understand someone will be like, now you're 1-4, congratulations. Or 1-5, don't care.
People are upset now. They said, how come you always get to do it? I've been trying for my entire life, someone says to you in the hot dog race. I know, isn't that terrible? Cody's taken all these spots. Cody's done it 7 times. There's people out there, kids, that have dreamt of being able to race in a hot dog race, and you're just taking those
That was
spots.
like you getting first in line on the blimp in front of what's her name, who was
crushing dreams.
I don't care. Get connections in life. You know, get to know somebody.
Jeez, man,
it's not my fault.
Wow.
You know. What? Oh, well. Oh, so it turns out breaking news into Cody and Gold. Having connections sometimes gives you an advantage in life. You know? That's the news.
You should use your advantage and get this person a spot in actually instead of yourself. That
Guy,
would be
guys.
That would be
you really think so?
That would be using your connections
for good.
For good.
It's a hot dog race.
For unselfish reasons, I suppose.
You know, like it's a hot dog race. You know, if it's your legitimate dream, like this has always been your dream. You can prove to me in some way that you've been writing about this in your diary for 10 years that it's your dream. I'll give up my spot in the hot dog race.
Someone said Cody wouldn't even Make-A-Wish kid let in the race over him. Wow.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
Huh. All right. Up next, we will get to what's trending. We'll also hear what JJ Picollo told us earlier about Carlos Estevez also playing on Friday night. I thought that was kind of interesting, and what they expected from Michael Garcia last year and heading into 2026.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Ever wonder why Fanatics Sportsbook is America's fastest online growing sportsbook? Other sportsbooks? Well, their rewards are just the same old, same old. But Fan Cash is the ultimate sports currency, and betting with Fanatics lets you stack Fan Cash. With Fanatics Sportsbook, you can get up to 10% Fan Cash back on your wagers, win or lose. Use your Fan Cash to unlock the world of Fanatics with unlimited profit boosts, exclusive merch, collectibles, and so much more. If you want value for bets, Fanatics will always have your back. And don't forget about Fan Cash draws. It's simple. Choose your draw and enter with Fan Cash for a shot at no sweat bets, casino credit, premium sports experiences, tickets, and more. Extraordinary prizes await. Did I also mention they are giving away millions in Fan Cash this year with games like Fan Cash Drop? Tap in every Friday and see what the fuss is all about. Switch to a sportsbook that will always give you more to play with. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app today. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions and unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's Trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Number one on What's Trending, the Royals are wrapping up exhibition play, or at least in the middle of a game, I should say, today against the Rangers. Yesterday, they did lose. That doesn't really matter overall. It was more about how guys performed. Salvador Perez had a home run. Michael Wacha did allow 2 runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, but struck out 5 across 5 innings through 88 pitches. He'll pitch this weekend against the Atlanta Braves. Right now, it is the end of the first inning. Rangers up 1-0 on the Royals. I think Jack Leiter is pitching for the Rangers. Yes, he is. In fact, You were telling me who's pitching for the Royals?
Morgan for the Royals. He's like a 5-year big leaguer.
Okay.
Mostly a reliever. Pitched for Cleveland for a little while as a reliever, and then Chicago last year. He did have the bases loaded with nobody out, so to only give up 1 run, I guess, is a win. Next up on What's Trending, 2 new coaches in the Big 12 were hired yesterday. Jared Calhoun and, of course, Bennett heading over to Arizona State. Seemed like a couple of good hires in the Big 12. The real question is whether or not the Bill Self rumors will also come true. Some suspecting that maybe he will retire, although we don't know yet. There are early rumors and leanings, at least at this point. I and you, Gold, both expect that we would hear something on Bill Self by the end of the week. But at least a pair of new coaches in the Big 12. The real question is whether or not there'll need to be another.
Elsewhere in golf, Scotty Scheffler just withdrew from the Houston Open, which is taking place this week. Likely will not play again until the Masters. He's still the world number 1, and the Masters coming up in just a few weeks there at Augusta. He was planning on playing this week in the home state of Texas, but was a late scratch. He announced it as, quote, family reasons. And they reported it's because of the expected birth of his second child with his wife, Meredith. So good reason.
Yeah, very good
But
reason.
he'll be ready to roll for the Masters.
I did see that Tiger Woods is going to compete in the TGL tonight. I don't know in what capacity, because he's not confirmed whether or not he's going to play in the Masters or not. But he is going to swing a club tonight in competition, at least for the Indoor Golf League.
First
that
time
he's a
since
part of.
24 at the Open.
So it's at least not like, look, I don't watch the TGL and a lot of things. Watching Tiger Woods swing a golf club, they might get me for 10 seconds.
His team is in the finals tonight.
Is the thought that legit? I have no idea because I haven't watched. Is the TGL doing well? Like, has it been a disappointment? Is it it feels like it's more diehard golf people that are watching? Is it are the ratings good? Like, I honestly don't know.
Serena Williams and her husband own the LA team or whatever. So they were there last night. I think
so. They got money, is what you're saying.
I think there's some people. It is golf in the end. So I think there's money involved where they're doing good. I just don't know how the ratings are compared to
down from last year. 919,000 viewers on average on ESPN. Last year,
nothing.
700,000 per year this year. So down, but also still holding okay.
Tonight's
Normally
probably going to hit a bit of a boost.
Yeah, they're going to get a big boom.
And there's nothing else on tonight. I mean, baseball doesn't start till tomorrow night. The tournament doesn't have any games. I guess there's some women's tournament games maybe tonight, but there's the Sweet 16 for the men don't start till Thursday. So
if you want some sports, at least do that. Next up on What's Trending, Levante David officially announces his retirement after 14 seasons, all with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's doing that in a press conference right now, talking about his decision to step away from the sport. He obviously has had a very, very good career, and because of the Super Bowls, likely I would say is a Hall of Famer. I mean, he started 215 games in his NFL career, which is obviously a hell of a career when you talk about it. Finished with 14 interceptions, 42 and a half sacks, a gajillion tackles. Had a great career. All-Pro second team twice, All-Pro first team once, and then, of course, a two-time Super Bowl champion.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Someone mentioned that Eli Morgan was not the original starter. It was Seth Lugo.
Uh-oh.
Is that right? And if so, he only won a third of an inning, 3 walks through 27 pitches.
Oh, so it was him that got bumped early. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So Morgan came in relief.
I just saw that the base was loaded with nobody
the
was
Seth
out.
Lugo thing, see what the first month looks like. And if it's much like what last August and September were, then it's a big problem, considering he was a different pitcher after the extension.
Yeah, I mean,
he pitched in the WBC for Puerto Rico.
I'm not concerned that he can't get out of the first inning in his final tune-up before, spring training. Now, in fairness, up to that point, he had barely pitched and posted a 0 earned run average because he was on, as you know.
But again, how many guys are going to talk about having slow starts? That's been the problem for this team. They can't afford multiple players to have, pitching is one thing. I guess you'd rather have, you got some depth there, but, versus Vinny getting off to a slow start or somebody like that.
But his final start for Puerto Rico, I think he had 4 scoreless innings and gave up no runs. So, I don't want to, he pitched, he has a 0 earned run average in spring training. Well, he didn't really pitch in spring training, because he was pitching as a part of the WBC, so he's only had 2 starts.
Yeah, today 1 strikeout, 3 walks, and an earned run in a third of an inning.
Look, he's one of the players to watch. I don't think that there's any mystery in that. He had 2 starts for the World Baseball Classic. He gave no runs in 4 1/3. So I don't know whether or not to. Or no, I'm sorry, he gave up 4 earned runs. Sorry, at least in there. So he had 1 bad outing and 1 good outing for Puerto Rico.
Thinking of the Royals, we asked JJ Picollo about the concern around Carlos Estevez and his ramp up. We had him join us earlier today, and we started our conversation with the general manager of the Royals discussing the WBC, what it was like to watch that play out, and specifically to see Michael Garcia get the MVP of the WBC.
Well, it was incredible. I mean, it was exciting for all of us to watch. I mean, really everybody in the building, major league, minor league, everybody's watching those games at night, but to see your own guys perform the way they did was really incredible. And then when they got home, we needed that energy. You get to that point where you get the last 6-7 days of camp, and for Estevez to walk through the doors, then Salvi, then Michael and Bobby and Avila, Vinny and Cags, all those guys were part of the semifinals, and you felt the whole clubhouse kind of lift up and re-energized, just to have all those guys back, and knowing it was the last week and the opener's here in a couple days.
I saw Salvi got a rather sizable tattoo for the championship. Did you get a firsthand view?
Oh, I did not see that. I'll have to see. He's at it. He's got the World Series championship and now the Venezuelan championship.
I saw it on
WBC.
Instagram, in fairness, JJ. So it's not like I think it's a relatively fresh tattoo.
Okay, well, it would have to be, right? We'll see.
Going back to just Michael Garcia, can you walk us through internally the conversations around him? Because, like, to some on the outside, last year for Michael Garcia could look like a out of the blue season, as in statistically way better than what he had done at any point in his career. Internally, is this still the ceiling you saw for him at the time that happened? And you guys were just waiting for this jump? Were you guys taken by surprise? Just walk me back a little bit in time about what Garcia ended up being for you guys last year. And of course, this year for the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I mean, we really had a lot of confidence that Michael was going to be a really, really good major league player. Now, that can mean a lot of different things, you know. So, but he was really athletic. He played great defense. He wasn't strong. He was 130 pounds when he signed. So when he came to the States, he's only 150 pounds. So I remember like going through meetings and a lot of discussions were, is he going to get strength? Because the ball just didn't come off his bat. But everything else that he did was outstanding. And when we think about a Royals type player, of course, it's hard to have 13 guys that can run, field, run the bases well and hit. You know, it's really hard, but that's the ideal player for us. And that's what he had. He had those tools to be so well-rounded. And of course, you know, you guys know, I mean, there was a time where, you know, we really believed he was the best defensive shortstop in our system, even with Bobby there. But as it worked out, Bobby kept getting better, and he's super athletic, and now you slide Michael to third. You know, wasn't as comforting when he was at third because it kept, you know, not just me but others, how do we get him in the middle of the field? That's why we toyed around with center field. But now that he has filled out, and now he's, you know, the 20-something-year-old version of himself, he's physical. You know, that strength that you were banking on coming has come. And now it's paying dividends offensively where he's becoming a more explosive and dynamic offensive player. So to see what he did on that stage, we weren't surprised. I was reminded, you know, while he was doing that when we were in our meetings going into the Yankee series in 24 in the playoffs, he wasn't swinging that well, but to a man, everybody felt like he needed to be in our lineup because you just trusted him in the big moments. So internally, we weren't surprised he played well in the WBC. Would we have predicted the MVP? Probably not. It's just, you know, but you could see it happening. You know, it was going into that last game. I'm like, if he does one thing in this game, he's the MVP of this series. And it speaks volumes about who he is and how he's grown and the confidence he now has in himself as a player.
Did you know about the name pronunciation switch? It's been an adjustment for us on the radio, I'll tell you that.
Yes and no. You know, it's always been one of those things. You know, I hear people call him Mikey. I hear him call him Michael, like the American, the English Michael. And then it was explained to me the other day that it's like if you were phonetic spelling, it'd be like M-Y, Michael, which you say quick, it sounds like Michael. So no, I didn't know. You know, I just honestly call him Mikey most of the time. Just call him Mikey. So hopefully we get that right because it was kind of a little bit of a story for us back in Arizona when it came out.
Last thing on the WBC, have you guys considered getting an espresso machine for the dugout, knowing how well it worked for Team Italy?
Well, that is up to the players. They will decide, but I have a feeling you're not going to see an espresso machine. You want to be original. You know, that wouldn't be very original. You know, that's an Italian thing for the Italy team. You know, we need to come up with our own royal celebration, whatever that may be.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. The last time we had you on, we asked about Carlos Estevez, who, of course, was in the WBC, and the velocity concerns that some fans had noticed as well. Fast forward now, it's the week of the season. We saw him pitch last night. Is it still the feeling that maybe it's just going to take a week or two into the season for him? What's the organization's feel around Carlos right now?
Yeah, the only thing we can go on is past history, you know, and that's, you know, last year was more concerning to us because we hadn't experienced it before. Now, last year he also had a back injury, it slowed him up, and then he had 5 outings. But his velocity jumped 3 to 4 miles an hour once the regular season started. You know, that gives us a little bit more comfort this year than last year. But still, it's obvious, like the velocity still needs to come. The good thing is I don't think it's something he needs another month and a half to have it come. It's just about getting the repetition. I mean, Carlos is a big man, and to get that body moving the way it needs to move and to sync everything up just takes a lot of reps. And, he was one of the guys, unfortunately, he didn't get as many outings in WBC that as we were hoping and he was hoping, because we felt like the WBC may help him be more ready opening day. So, I think last night the encouraging thing was he faced 4 hitters in an inning and he punched out 3. And, so even with it, without the velocity, he still was effective last night against a lineup. He came in before all the regulars were out for Texas. So he faced the actual, guys who were going to be on the opening day roster. So that's a good thing. But, we're aware of it, but the confidence we have is much higher this year just because we lived it last year as well. So we'll see what this week brings.
What have you guys seen out of Jonathan India so far this spring? Obviously, when you guys made the trade for him, you were hoping for that on-base guy that they saw a couple of times in Cincinnati. He had a hard time in the leadoff spot. Obviously, Michael Garcia's moved to that for the team. But, what have you guys seen out of Jonathan India? Does he look more comfortable this year, or in the hopes that you're going to get a better year too?
Well, he definitely looks more comfortable. I mean, the good thing, or I think a really positive sign, he did it last night as well. When he's hitting the ball the other way and it's low line drives the other way, I think that's when he's his best version. And we've seen a lot of that. He's moving better. Watching him run the bases, he's moving better. He did a lot of work on just getting his body a little bit, I'll say leaner, but just more athletic. He went back to some training he had done in previous years that's really helped him, and we thought it paid off. And we just need Jonathan, and looking at his OPS last year, it was about, really about 10 to 15 points off of what his career OPS is. So he's not like that far off of what we acquired him to do. And guys are going to have some years where there's some ups and downs, but I think this year is going to be a different year for him. He's got a really good outlook on where he's at and where this team is, and he wants to win just like everybody else. And I think, all of our guys realize that if the team's playing well individually, they will benefit. It always seems to work that way when a team's clicking. All of a sudden you look up and you're like, hey, he had a career year and he had a career year. I think Jonathan falls into that category. Team's playing well. It's a lot easier to go play every day. And team's struggling and you feel like you need to be one of the main guys, you can put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. And I think Jonathan experienced that last year.
With Bobby Witt Jr., just obviously everybody knows he's one of the best players in the sport. What do you guys think his upper end power potential is? Last year was in the 20s, the previous 2 years in the 30s. Do you guys still view him as one day he is going to put 40 or 50 in the stands? Or how do you, just view his eventual power potential?
I do think he's very capable. I don't think he needs to do it to define him as a player. I think just the getting on base and being athletic and hitting 25 to 30 suits him just fine. But I do think he has the ability to do that. It's not something he needs to do. It's not like when you get guys that are more middle of the order guys and it's run production, they need to hit the 30 to 40. That's their job. It's not necessarily Bobby's job, but he's capable, and I just wouldn't be surprised if he did it at some point in his career. I just would be surprised if it was in like the top 5 goals for himself to hit 40. He just doesn't think that way, but he's capable for sure.
It just seems like the kind of team that's got a lot of guys capable of hitting 30, especially this year, maybe the most power you've had on a team in a while. JJ, is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't gone back and just looked at the rosters over the last 10, 15 years, but this team has a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, not just because the fences are changed. Guys mature as players. I mean, they mature. They figure out how to take at bats. They figure out what counts they might get a pitch that they can really drive. And you see the home run production going up. And I think when you tie that to the fences, our hope is more just from a mental and psychological standpoint that they're not trying to do more to get them out of our ballpark now. That was a big part of our thinking in bringing the fences in. Just take your normal swing and the ball's going to go out of the ballpark. So that's also something that could factor in. But, there is home run potential in there, but I also think we can't set our sights on just being a home run hitting team. We need to create runs, move runners, get them in from third, do all the little things that good teams do to win, and that's how we maximize our win total, along with a little bit more power.
I know the schedule is the schedule, and you guys don't worry about it. But we were talking earlier in the yesterday, I guess, just about it's weird opening up on a Friday night and not having like the normal opening day setup.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a little disappointing. It's a disadvantage. I'm not real sure why it was switched, but it is disappointing because you know, a couple things, and we don't have enough time to get into it. But one, you got the obvious, the weather. If we get rain down there, then we're playing a doubleheader on Saturday. That's the whole idea of playing on Thursday and having off Friday. But the other thing it does, it only gives us one off day in the first 10 days when a guy is on option, where typically you have two. You know, and if you have two, you know, you got a little bit more of an advantage. So it's you know, without getting into all that, I'd much rather have the day game, sort of wake up in the morning, get to the ballpark, the sun's out, fans are excited, there's a buzz, and you can play a day game and go have a nice dinner after the game.
Right.
But that's not the case this year, but we'll get to do it on Monday at home. So that'll be good too.
So that was JJ Picollo, the Royals general manager, president of baseball ops, earlier with us today. He'll be joining us like last year and the last couple of years throughout the season, every couple weeks here on Cody and Gold. The last part, I mean, as I said, as a fan, I didn't like it Friday night, but you just heard clearly the organization's not too fond of having to play on a Friday. Fortunately, weather-wise, unless it changes, it looks like that part won't play a factor. But the other stuff, like just, you know, what you expect your first 10 days maybe to look like in the season, yeah, you hope that you don't have any other issues because you're not going to get the multiple days off right out of the gate. And for
it just
fans,
kind of kills the energy.
I think for a Royals fan, and we hope to see you guys at Maloney's Friday night watching the game, and I'm sure we'll have a great time. But it just doesn't feel like opening day when you're playing Friday at 6:15 at night.
Don't forget, a bunch of people at the station will be at Maloney's Friday night to watch the first game of the year for Kansas City, so a chance to hang out with the crew and catch some baseball, and obviously some basketball will be on the screen as well. How are we looking for, have you checked? What's opening day weather looking like?
For us, at the K?
At the K.
We'll be
like
broadcasting.
75 and cloudy,
Opening day.
Yeah, Drew, I think
Rally
that's
House on Friday. We have 4 $100 Rally House gift cards to give away.
Ooh,
and
updated
opening day tickets to give away when we're at Rally House. Plus, they're going to have prizes, discount codes for the first 100 customers who show up out there in Independence as well. So, you know, I want to know, opening day, what do we got?
Monday, 82, partly cloudy.
82 partly cloudy? Would that be the best one we've ever done?
Oh, it'd be one of the nicer
Other than
opening
it'll
days in
still
a
be
while.
a windstorm or something, but
It always ends up being windier, but in southwest winds 10 to 20. But we'll see if it holds up. 80 degrees for the broadcast and the game on Monday would be unbelievable.
yeah, I'd be all over that. Are you kidding? Please. Is it supposed to get cold again? This weather makes no sense. It's been so up and down.
I think we're good, man. I think we're
we're-
good. I mean, it'll be chillier. a few days,
Punxsutawney
but
Phil was gone. Get him out of
that's
here.
true.
Get him out of here.
Like we'll get back into the 50s.
He's inaccurate, man. He said it was going to be more winter, and it's been warm as hell.
Yeah, we'll get back into the 50s, and there's a lot of rain next week or whatever later in the week. But we're like as
50s
far
I
as
can deal with.
30s, no, we're done with. I think we're done with 30s and snow.
I'm going to start
It's
chipping in the
April
backyard,
coming
Drew, try to increase my game.
There you go.
You know? Get better
Cody,
at
you better
golf.
get the lawnmower going here soon.
Oh, God, the worst.
Mm-hmm.
My dad
I just
mowed.
picked up all the sticks that had fallen all
My dad
summer.
mowed my parents' lawn over the weekend.
I believe it. Whoever my parents had, somebody came and mowed their yard.
I'm not ready for that.